morning, everyone. Good morning, Macon, Georgia, and everyone else around the world through the World Wide Web. This is the Morning Roast for Wednesday, May the 1st. Mayday, Mayday, we're going down. We hope,
baby.
We hope not. May 1st, 2013, right here in Macon, Georgia. Live right here from Shadows Interactive Dinner Theater in 438 2nd Street, downtown Macon, right next door to our old original stomping grounds, the Morning Roast. It's 8:09 a.m. right now. It's 62 degrees. It's partly cloudy with a high of 78 degrees and a low of 60. I'm here, this DB here, along with Irv and Ed behind the wheels of steel, and is in traffic. He should be coming later on today.
Well, good morning, everyone. Let's go down the roster here. Good morning, the Bean is back.
Good morning, Bean.
Gamer Girls, always around. Ellen Macon, welcome back. Plastic Canvas,
yes.
Three Bears, Coffee Guy. Your
Coffee
brother's
Guy.
late again.
And we
Better get him a better car.
And
one of one.
One of one. And Land of Peas is a new one.
Okay, I like that.
Speaking of bad cars, I guess you know I wasn't able to make it because my 85 Buick conked out again. Second time this year.
You know, I noticed something about cars in Georgia. I think it may be the heat.
The heat.
But they always seem to have, like, engine problems. I think if you garage a car, you're better off than leaving it on the street.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Cars don't do well here with, I guess, the heat. What do you think?
Well, maybe in the case of my car, probably so, because it's an 85 Buick, so it has no type of gauge whatsoever. So unless I see the light come on, the dummy light on, I pretty much have like 30 seconds to find a place to park it before it like self-destruct or something. Or blows up.
Wow.
So I definitely need to find a car that has at least a gauge in it and, you know, airbags, you know.
Yeah, a normal car.
You know.
Brakes, that was built in 85, right?
Yeah, 85. Yeah, that was the last year American cars didn't have airbags. It didn't start putting airbags in until the 1986 model. So mine was like one of the very few cars still around that doesn't have airbags in it.
Oh.
So I have to put on the seatbelt.
You're allowed to drive around without, in the older cars, you're allowed to drive around without a seatbelt because they didn't have them then.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, my grandfather's Rambler cars didn't have one, or the Dodge Dart, yeah.
Land of Peas.
Dodge Dart, that is.
Land of Peas is saying that we got curtains from a correspondence dinner. What is that?
Oh, the correspondence dinner, the one where they had the president talk to the audience and stuff. You know, he always had the correspondence with reporters, and he always cracked jokes and stuff. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, well, we are here. Oh, no. By the way, did Obama declare war on Syria? Somebody was saying that he was holding a press conference about Syria. Did that happen? Why don't you move down?
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't know that much about it because, well,
he did. Okay.
Oh, wow.
All right. So, are we technically at war with Syria? Yeah. Well, don't you follow Obama on Twitter? No.
Well, yeah, if we had internet at home, we might.
Yeah, that's all I do is sit at home and watch him on Twitter. Nick and Lynn, welcome back. Here we go. A war is all we need. Yep. That's how we make money. Remember that. War is a money-making machine.
Yeah.
Halliburton made billions of dollars, and it was Dick Cheney that oversaw that. Made sure that his friends' stocks had plenty of money to go in. Oh, yes, our gas to go up.
Oh, yeah, because
he doesn't have the balls to declare war. That's what Bean says. So what happened? I mean, what was his news conference about?
Yeah, the coffee gas. His last few wars have been expensive. I did remember he did have a news conference yesterday when I was here
So what the hell did he have a news conference about?
I had no idea. It was on all the four networks, at least the channels that I was able to get because I don't have cable.
Yeah.
But it seemed like he was talking something that was going on
About Syria.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
well.
as any other politician.
Another threat
Yeah.
that we don't follow through on.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about the Saudi suspect? Suspect in what? Was it the bombing? Was it the bombing? I guess they have confirmed that Syria has used gas on their people. I see. All right, well, that doesn't surprise me. It shouldn't surprise anybody. This message saying ain't no war yet. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
as they were talking about, I'm going to go about in what everyone's talking about. I'm going to talk about that news conference that was
go
on
ahead.
yesterday. This is from NPR.
Yeah.
Basically, this is a transcript of what's going on. It says in recent weeks, President Obama has been basically looking angry one day and determined the next, and it seems like there's some stuff going on. And he talks about the things that recently about Syria and Boston, or at least the aftermath of Boston.
I'm sending you an article from CNN to check out right now, Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, check that one out because I got a video to go with it.
Oh, you do? Okay. Yes, Ed is giving me a news, and I'll preface it, and he has...
Well, the video's not ready yet.
Oh,
You have a video, Ed?
When it's ready.
yeah. But
Okay.
I'll go ahead and preface it while he prepares it. Let's see, it's a little bit slow.
Anyway, they're making comments. I think the people who think that was homegrown are looking way too eastward. It's very convenient for old Putin. I guess the Russians are involved. Is that what you're saying? God only knows. All these people hate us. I don't know.
You never know, man. You never know. It says all options remain on the table as the Obama administration considers what, if any, military action to take in Syria following the suspected use of chemical weapons there, U.S. officials tell CNN. They say this includes the possibility of providing arms to rebels, even though the administration has opposed this step and several cautions that its resistance to doing so is unlikely to change. So far, the United States has provided communications and other non-lethal aid to the rebels fighting the regime of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad in a 2-year civil war. The administration recently announced that it would double that commitment to $250 million worth of assistance. A final decision on the composition of the boosted aid will be made after consultation with military commanders, National Security Council spokeswoman Caitlin Hayden said. Communications equipment, armor, night vision goggles, and vehicles are among the items being discussed, Hayden said. As the president has said, our assistance to the Syrian opposition has been an upward trajectory, and he has directed his national security team to identify additional measures so that we can continue to increase our assistance, she said. She goes on to add, we continue to consider all of the possible options that would accomplish our objective of hastening a political transition, but have no new announcements at this time. But the Washington Post reported yesterday that Obama is preparing to send lethal weaponry to the opposition. But officials also emphasized in the report that supplying arms is one of the several options under consideration. The Post said that Obama would likely make a final decision on arms in the coming weeks.
All right, well, he's just ramping it up a little bit, not much.
Oh, yeah.
You know, those people, we talk about the bombing here in Boston. Those people are dealing with bombs every day. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Here we go.
The wounded were still being evacuated when we arrived at the scene, just minutes after a car bomb ripped through this area in front of a government building. Mohammed Agha was close by when the attack happened.
I saw several, let's say, bags full of parts of human beings here. It's okay. They are carrying them, and the ambulances can carry it here.
A crater marks the spot where the bomb was detonated, apparently hidden in a minibus.
The security forces here are very nervous, obviously, after the blast. If you look at the building, you can see just how bad the damage is. The windows are all blown out, the security fence has been blown away, and there is a lot of carnage here right in front of the old Interior Ministry building.
It's the second major bombing in just 2 days in Damascus. As the civil war in Syria drags on and President Bashar al-Assad clings to power, many in Syria's capital believe Iraq-style terror attacks will become more frequent. Some blame Islamist extremist groups and the U.S. for supporting the opposition.
They are killing our people. Even Washington knows, even the West knows that they are terrorists. Why they are providing them with weapons?
The U.S. says it provides only non-lethal aid to the opposition, and aside from political talk, others, like this woman, are simply shocked at what is happening to their country. They are all our children, she says, and it is sad. We are all Syrians killing each other. If anything, the increased bombings appear to be strengthening the resolve of Bashar al-Assad's supporters. God, Syria, Bashar, and nothing else, these men chant at the blast site, while the emergency workers are still busy picking up the remains of those who were killed. Fred Pleitkin, CNN, Damascus.
Ah,
There you have it. There you
there
have
we
it.
go. More people chanting on the streets. God hates America. Blah 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 blah.
Yep, and Mr. Dumpster Baby says Obama going to arm the terrorists. If it wasn't for the armor of the rebels, the troubles would have stopped 2 years ago. Well, call me crazy. Isn't that what Reagan did like about 25, 26 years ago back, arming Mujahideen, the Afghanistan against the Soviet Union for them, and then basically at the end of it, Soviet Union pulled out, and then they formed Taliban and Al Qaeda after about a decade or so later.
With all that mix up, who the hell knows anymore? I kind of remember that. I mean,
Yeah.
Look, Russia's involved, Iran is involved, and even in some weird way, China's involved. I
Yeah.
mean, we got all these issues.
China's
with,
involved, hasn't even
China
brought
wants
up
to be the major
grenade. Well, yeah.
superpower.
Well, yeah, because
They want everybody
I mean,
talking Chinese.
because this, why you think Dalai want us to speak Mandarin? Because he knows it's China. Well, basically, China is flipping the bill on America's taxes
Yeah.
deficit, I should say. It's just DS Photo Guy says just watch Rambo 3. It explains all. Yep, that's right. That's right. Same thing's
Dumpster Baby says that's 100% of what happened, which is we interfered for the interest of oil and arms business.
Yeah.
They carry AK-47s like we carry pencils around.
Yeah, he's right.
That's true.
That's very true.
Just watch Rambo 3. It explains it all. I guess Rambo is a history lesson.
Yeah, I guess if you don't learn from history, you repeat it.
Many times we support the side that we later end up fighting.
Yep, exactly.
That's what happened with Iraq.
Yeah.
We were back, and the same thing happened with Libya.
Yeah.
And same thing happened with
Rocky 8. I don't think they made Rocky 8 yet.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they
had a Rocky 6, but they named it Rocky
happened in
Balboa.
Afghanistan, Iraq. Keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, it keeps
Libya.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned Libya.
That's
Oh,
very true. Uh-oh. I think we stopped for a while. Oh, really? Okay.
Well,
are we done?
that's what I don't know.
Are we down?
Gotta live with it, or I can't do nothing about it.
Okay. Hopefully we'll be back
You
right
gotta
back.
deal with it if you want to do it here. But you can chat with me. See, everything's working on my end. So I think it's wrong. I don't think it's back.
All right, here we
Okay,
go.
we're back.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bond,
Thank you.
Bond doing it.
I swear to you, I feel like we're living in a war zone. They keep knocking out our internet. That was a bomb that went off.
Cyberbomb.
Anyway.
Actually, not necessarily. I think there was a construction site where they're knocking down a couple of buildings nearby here. I think, and hopefully they'll go this direction, not coming forward here. So hopefully they know there are people still here inside here.
Yeah. All right.
Yes, we have some things going on.
Well, we have some local stuff. Why don't we start there and then go? That international is breaking news.
Okay, great. The Spencer murder case now faces a sodomy charge. This is recently, right now.
Yeah.
From those who, this is an update. The story highlights Michael Brett Kelly has been charged with aggravated sodomy in addition to murder. says Kelly is one of the 4 suspects in the murder of Gail Spencer, who was found dead last October. The 4 suspects remain in jail without bond. We talked about this briefly about 6 months, just roughly 6 months ago, when we were at the Roasted Cafe. The aggravated assault to the charges against the murder suspect, Michael Brett Kelly. District Attorney David Cook said yesterday the Bibb County grand jury handed down the new indictment against Kelly, who was already indicted on a murder charge in the killing of 58-year-old Gail Spencer. We believe we can prove that he forced her to perform oral sex on him, Cook said. He also said Kelly would be arraigned on the new charge in a few weeks. Cook declined further comment. Also, Kelly and 3 other suspects were indicted on murder charges last fall. The other suspects are Keith Anthony Dozier, Tracy Michelle Jones, and Courtney Nicole Kelly. A GBI medical examiner ruled Spencer's death a homicide by asphyxiation. The 4 allegedly were involved in an embezzlement scheme at the law firm of the Macon attorney Calder Pinkston. The 4 allegedly killed Spencer when she refused to go along. They remain in Bibb County Jail without bond.
Wow.
What do you think about that, Irv?
I mean, he assaulted an older woman, that old woman.
Mm-hmm.
That kid's a freak.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. What do you do with a guy like that besides sticking him in jail?
Where else can you put him? I mean,
is he gonna get the death penalty because he killed that woman, didn't he?
Yeah, he's either gonna. I think there's a chance he may get death penalty or even life imprisonment.
Probably get life.
Okay,
but
I do have some breaking news though. By the way.
Okay.
Just hit
that, and then I have the news about yesterday's Macon Police Department of Justice forum.
Oh yes, definitely. But this is just in the Macon a major fire hit South Bibb Plastics plant. At least 9 units are on the scene of a fire at 7670 Airport Drive in South Bibb County. Pactiv Corporation is the location where firefighters arrived just after 7 o'clock Wednesday morning. So this is about just almost an hour and a half ago. Visibility is limited due to the smoke and fog in the regional airport area. Motorists are cautioned to slow down. Pactiv's website describes it as the world's largest manufacturer of food service disposables and food packaging. The company is based in Lake Forest, Illinois. Company spokeswoman Tori Burt said that they had no further information on the fire this morning. So yes, this is some serious stuff going on, because if they're involved in food service disposables and near an airport, I mean, that's basically, they package food, I guess, at least for people. If it's near the regional airport, I'm quite sure that the airport has a deal with them, like far as like giving meals for people who getting flights there. You know, at least first class people who get meals there.
Well,
that's something.
Another fire.
Yeah, another fire.
Another fire. Another broken tooth.
Mm-hmm.
And that was where? In Macon?
Yeah, near the airport. It's near the airport.
Well, I don't even know what to say about that. What kind of comment can I possibly make about that? Another business? Was it a business?
Yes, it's a business. It was a plant.
Because they did. Oh, the big plant. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sounds suspicious, doesn't it?
Like, what do you mean? Like, you mean
like maybe somebody got fired and they decided to start a fire?
Possibly. I mean, you never know. I mean, it's kind of bad, but at this, I mean, probably someone who was disgruntled and probably wanted to take it back on his employers and other coworkers. But at the same time, you know, you would think, you know, why you're risking yourself. I guess people can be selfish that way. I mean, if you lose a job, and jobs are scarce here in Bibb County, especially when you have a business that's trying to grow, trying to build the city. I guess when you're unemployed, you don't care about anyone else.
You know, guys get like that. I hate to say it, but you know, it's the same thing with the girlfriend. If I can't have you, no one can. They go and kill the girlfriend. It's the same thing here. Mm-hmm. If I can't have a job here, nobody's gonna have a job here. Am I right?
You're right.
That's how guys hit a wacko thing.
Hit it dead on the head. Hit it dead on the head.
I'm going to talk about this police cultural training session that we had yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And guess who I ran into?
Who'd you ran into?
Officer Clayton Sutton. Literally, right in the back.
Wow.
And I told many of the police officers there that there's something wrong with that boy. Because I'm telling you, I took one look at him. He looks maniacal. I swear to you. I may not be really smarts up here and book knowledge and all that. But believe me, I read people very, very well. That boy has a problem. He's smirking, all blush red. And I said, good afternoon, Mr. Sutton. And I walked away. I didn't even hear his response.
Yeah.
But here's the story. Officer Clayton Sutton, the officer cleared of wrongdoing in the December shooting of Sammy Davis Jr., along with around 90 others, attended Tuesday's training session on cultural diversity.
Okay. That was yesterday.
This isn't a new experience for officers, though. Macon Police spokesman Jamie Gaudet, who lied to the press, says all members of the force go through extensive training on community relations as part of their regular career development plan. When did that happen? I mean, if you guys have been trained to do this, how come they're not putting it to use? And why are we having these classes again? Right? So obviously the training that happened before wasn't that good. And I'll tell you what my perception was about the training yesterday as well. The sessions facilitated by the Department of Justice are open to the public, though few attended Tuesday's meeting. That's another problem. The public doesn't show up, and so it winds up just being the police there. That's it. We were there, but we're policing the police, so in some weird way, we're the police too. And through a mix of lecture and group activities, some of Tuesday's attendees say they learn more about listening and communicating with each other and the community. Our own personal context and the way we address a problem may be perceived by other group of people as culturally unaware or not diverse or racist, says Captain Michael Slagetter of the Macon Police Department. If we open our eyes to other people's perception and are willing to change who we are and how we act and come together as a community, not one group or the other group, then as a whole, we will progress into the next century. The Department of Justice reps also showed several videos of common police scenarios, like pulling someone over or answering a suspicious loitering call. The group broke down each video, saying how the officer could have responded differently to avoid conflict or misconception. Tuesday's session only touched on the issue of racial profiling, and that will be the main focus in two of the other training sessions. So it was about racial profiling. And the problem here that I have with all this is that it's more than racial profiling. It's about keeping officers like Clayton Sutton, on the roster and not taking action to fire this guy, or at least pull him off the streets with a horrible file record. That's really the problem right now. You have really blatant, stupid officers going out on that street, and it puts everybody at risk. And like I was telling the sergeant and one of the captains there, I said all it takes is one bad apple to spoil everybody, and everybody looks bad. So my suggestion to you, I said to him, and he listened, was you guys better have some kind of mentoring program where the older guy or the sergeant or whatever sits down with a guy with a bad file, that everybody has access, especially a captain and a lieutenant and a sergeant. That these guys that are above a regular police officer take the time out to mentor some of these guys. And he agreed. He said, you're right. I said, look, that's not happening. It's obviously not happening. You guys aren't talking to each other. You guys need to police your own police by sitting down with them. Some of these guys see wild stuff. And maybe it's a good idea to sit down with some of these guys and say, hey, how you doing? How you holding up? Are you all right? Is this going on? Blah, blah, blah. But they won't do that, and especially with a police officer who has a horrible record, like Sutton.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, he does look evil. Let me just say this. I swear to you.
Exactly.
I swear to you. This guy looked nutty. When I saw him, he was all blush red. He had this weird smirk on his face. He just didn't look good. Good morning, in.
Well, I walked in
morning.
and you're talking about me.
No, we weren't talking about But
Sorry,
Diaz Pudogas says,
I had children problems. I was supposed to leave on time, and all of a sudden the children didn't want to cooperate.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said, Dumpster Baby. I told one of the officers and one of the sergeants, I said, you know what happens is that a lot of the guys in the police department think that you ought to kiss their butt. That's not the way it is. They forget that they work for us.
All right.
And so I spelled that out. I was very nice about it. But I was pretty upfront about it.
Yes.
And then I talked to the sergeant, and the sergeant was kind of looking down. I said, you know, this is really sad that what happened with this department, especially when there are a lot of good guys here. I said, but I blame the ones that are up high. And, you know, he's one of the guys that are so-called up high. He's a sergeant. I said, you're the guy that keeps everybody in line. He said, yeah, yes, sir. I said, well, you know, I would just suggest to you on, you know, take it for what it's worth. You ought to be sitting down with these guys and mentoring them. They need guys like you to mentor them. Sit down with them, ask them the questions. They, like was said, they see the worst of life every day. So sit down with them and find out. And especially guys with bad records is what I was saying, Anthony, just for you.
So
I'm
standard
repeating
records.
myself.
And yeah, hopefully, and if they, if they if they do end up getting terminated, hopefully they don't act like a nut like the person who basically supposedly started the fire in the plastic plant that's right next to the airport, which was breaking news that just started a little over an hour ago.
Oh, here in Macon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that. So what?
Well,
So how far, Urban, did you get into the...
Diaz
we read the
Pudogas-
story, and then I talked a little bit about it. I haven't spoken on what you did to cause an uproar. Let's go there.
Yeah.
I didn't really... Well, see, I didn't think what I said should have caused an uproar.
Well,
I just think they were already...
it did.
Yeah.
I already think they were in there with the intent of wanting to get mad at us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it was a boiling point already.
Well,
the minute
everybody
they
was
saw us.
staring at me, but I'm used to that. Everybody was staring at me while I was walking around. I
That's
could
because
feel
you
their
look like
eyes like right on top of my head.
That's because you look like a Jewish leprechaun.
Yeah, you know, I'm the shortest guy in the room.
hell?
I'm the shortest guy in the room, and they're probably wondering, that little piece of shit is the one that's causing all this trouble? I bet you.
Like Ebola. Like,
That little bastard. And it's the same thing.
Staphylococcus just
It used
walked
to
in.
happen at work all the time.
Staphylococcus just walked in.
I would walk with my boss, who was like 6'3", and white
The bird
hair.
flu just
and they
walked
would
in.
always say, the employees would say,
Bird
don't worry
flu.
about him. Worry about that little bastard right there, little Caesar.
The herb flu.
Little Caesar. Pizza,
Well, no, I
pizza.
mean, it went pretty well, I thought. I mean,
Trouble.
the first like 3.5 hours were pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Everybody seemed to get
And
along.
then it
Everybody was
exploded
chiming
into
in.
excitement.
But let's explain why, okay? Because they showed these tapes, these work tapes, these training scenarios, right? You know, these little scenarios they taped with these actors somewhere else. I think the guy said they taped them in Virginia.
Okay.
Well, basically, they had this last scenario where an officer is parked in his car at a distance outside a gas station, and he sees like a Bronco pull up, and 4 black guys jump out, and they kind of hastily jog into the convenience store.
Oh, okay.
You know, they're guys in their what would you say, 20s or so? These black
Yeah.
guys supposed to be in their 20s,
College
maybe
age.
late teens. Well, so he runs in. So the officer then pulls up, and of course the video is from the camera of the cop's dash cam. It's his dash cam, and he pulls up, and he pulls next to the car. He runs the tag, and it comes back. Oh, stolen tag, stolen tag.
Yeah.
Well, then he gets out of the car, and then when the 4 gentlemen leave a few minutes later the store, they're carrying. Did you find the irony in this, Irving? Remember what they were carrying?
What?
Chips and soda.
Yes.
Because
Oh,
when that
man.
happened, I just automatically thought of Sammy. It's like the guys in Trading Tape. They're walking out with a bag of chips and soda.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the minute they walk out, they're like kind of, just kidding with each other, punching each other in the arm. And then the officer says, "Freeze, stop right there, put your stuff down, get out of the ground now, blow up, hands behind your back, blah, 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 blah." Okay. And they're going, what? What's this all about? So they do that. So then the other officer arrives, a backup unit arrives, and in the Trading Tape, the backup unit decides to call in the tag, and then finds out the tag that the original officer called in was wrong.
Yeah.
He was off by one letter. It was a V or whatever. It was a U, and he said it was a V.
Right.
Within the thing. So basically, it comes back that the license was not stolen, that everything checks out on the car, and then the guys were just free to go because they didn't do anything. And when they asked them why they were running into the store, they said, "Oh, that's something we've always done as kids. We're old childhood buddies, and we get out, we go run the store. We'd all kind of run to the door to see who's like the first one to get to the door. We were just kind of reminiscing." So that was the explanation of the black guy. One of the actors playing the black guy.
Yeah.
So then they stopped the tape, and of course the whole idea behind it was then to raise questions about profiling, right?
Racial profiling.
And
yeah.
stuff. So, of course, after Mr. Atkinson from the Department of Justice, the moderator who's running this forum, he then asks the audience, was that reasonable cause? And of course, every officer in the place says yes.
Yes.
Of course.
And even the black girl who says, I hate to say it, but when I see black guys running in a store,
Yeah. So then, as they're all agreeing to that, then I pipe up really loudly.
say what you said.
Since when is it illegal to run? Right? And then I say,
antebellum times.
and then I say, no, where the mistake was made was in the officer who didn't get his license plate right. That's where the mistake was made.
Exactly.
And I learned this from the Army. And that's the whole reason we have phonetic alphabet. Is you're supposed to say when you're in the military and in the police, I'm sure it's like this as well.
Yeah.
You're supposed to say the letter. That's so you don't confuse the guy on the other end with a letter like V and B that sounds the same over the phone. You hear V, B, V, you know what I mean? There's certain letters that
so you
sound
say
same.
bubblegum.
No,
vampire.
you say Bravo.
Oh, Bravo.
You say the actual phonetic. I mean, that's the same
Bravo.
example, but you say there's a phonetic alphabet: Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, Golf, Hotel, blah blah blah. You had to learn them when I was in the Army. So that's the whole reason they do that. So if the license plate is like 98UVX9, then you would say 98 Uniform Victor X-Ray 9 over dispatch, so there's no confusion in the lettering.
Right.
So you don't hear a U or a V or a B or a
Or
V
B
or an E
or
or
D,
whatever.
yeah.
Or a D or a B.
I
So
see.
you get it right.
Right.
So that was my whole point, was that it's incorrect. The mistake was made with the officer.
Yep.
But yet you're going to turn it around and say, oh, these black guys. So then I finally said, so would you have acted the same way if some older white guys in suits ran in?
And
running
people
in?
laughed at that.
But then all the cops said, yeah, just about. And I'm thinking, no wonder we have problems. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I mean because you're admitting you profile. And then remember the white cop? Remember the white lady cop, the kind of big, kind of dyke-looking one?
yeah.
Remember her? And then she explained how she was near a Family Dollar that gets robbed a lot. I can't remember the neighborhood. And she said she saw a man in black running away from it in black. And she goes and she stops him and she, what are you doing? What are you doing? He looks like he's suspicious of something, blah, blah, blah. And then he, of course, says, what are you messing with me for? All I'm doing is running from a dog. I was running because there was a dog chasing me back there a ways.
Yeah.
So she didn't know, but she said, it all panned out. But let's be real, people. The officers amongst themselves can say that they would have treated a white guy like that, an older white guy like that, but we know they wouldn't have.
No.
We know they wouldn't have.
No way.
You can't tell me that if a car pulled in front of a gas station and you had 6 old ladies get out of it in cherry blossom dresses and they jauntily ran toward the door, you can't tell me those officers would have been like, we got our 955, there's old ladies running in a store to rob it. You know darn well they wouldn't have thought that way.
No.
Wow.
No way.
I mean, So that's what my point was. And so that's the first thing I brought up. And of course, they're already mumbling, blah, 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 you know, underneath
Well,
their breath.
it got heated. I mean,
because then the next
it got
thing,
to the point
well,
where...
you know why? Because
Go
then
ahead.
the next thing I said was then because they thought it was okay to profile that way, I then said the dreaded words that most cops never want to hear in their life. Mm-hmm. And I said something to the effect of, well, you know, and now you wonder why people profile cops because of the cops in the Rodney King beating.
Right.
And
Oh,
the minute I said that, of course, the
whole room exploded, and the moderator is going, okay, wait a minute, calm down.
You know,
And that's where that short cop comes out. Not everything that is said is all about racism.
Right.
And
right.
I thought, hey, hold your fire.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
So,
But, no, really, the whole room exploded
Yeah.
as soon as you said that.
well, but like I said, they already wanted to find a reason
Well,
to
of
get
course.
onto us.
Yeah,
Well, the
yeah.
minute we walked in there, they knew because the very first thing I said when I was addressing perception, they were doing a topic. They were doing a segment
Yeah.
on perception, and that was perfect for me when I brought the files in. I said, well, that's exactly what we as civilians are dealing with in the opposite direction because they were talking about perception that officers
Yeah.
have when they see things.
Right.
And I said, well, this is my perception. With these files I've gotten so far, I've noticed that anytime an officer does something against the system,
Yeah, you did that real well.
anytime the officer gets something against the system, whether I didn't go to court, I missed a meeting that my superiors told me to attend, I crashed the car, then they get reprimanded. But when you have a complaint by a citizen, in these folders so far, every complaint by a citizen is thrown out and not sustained. And I said that. I said that perception to us is that the superiors are saying, look, you might be able to get away with your crap out in the streets, and we might let you get past, you know, harassing the citizens, but don't try to pull stuff over on us when we tell you you have to be at a certain place at a certain time. You better be there, or we're going to, you know, make you pay or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. Of course, nobody really responded to that. The guy from the DOJ said at break time it was a good question and a good point I made up. But,
Well.
I mean, it was what we thought. It was informative in a way.
But it was what
But-
Yurak said. It's all
But
mind control.
it was all just, you know,
Yeah.
like I wrote, none of the cops there, well, not none, but I would say about 80% of the cops there didn't leave with anything. They went there just going, I'm told I have to be here. I'm doing this because it's mandatory. Other than that, I don't really give a crap what they
Right,
say.
and
I'm not gonna listen
they
to
all
them.
look bored and pissed
Yeah.
off. And not only that, but when we walked in the room initially, they were staring at us, of course. They didn't say much.
Of course.
And then afterwards, you know, little by little, they started, as I was going to get water and things like that, they would then say hello. But here's what I perceived as the saddest part of all this.
Uh-huh.
And that is how separate they are from your average person. Like, they really have and live in their own world.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you have to be accepted into their world by them.
Right.
Exactly.
And that's not the way it should be. I really felt like, you know, I gave them the opportunity to say hello to me by putting myself in front of them, and they wouldn't say anything.
Right.
And it goes to show you how the culture in the police department really needs to grow up and really needs to see that one of the problems they have is that they have this attitude like you gotta go lick their ass.
Right.
You gotta kiss
And
their
access-
ass.
yeah.
You gotta be nice to them, and they forget that they work for us.
Well, yeah.
Not that I want my ass kissed, but it's kind of nice. You know how good it feels for a police officer to say hello to you sometimes.
Yeah, and
It
don't
feels
look at you
good.
like you're guilty of something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me, and even I've been profiled. A lot of the thing is people don't have problem being profiled unless they're the group that's being profiled. And even I was profiled back in college. I was just coming back from the mall over the Georgia Square Mall over in Athens. It's like just some miles away from the campus, UGA campus, and I get stopped by the campus cop. Is like, excuse me, he was asking for my bag or anything. I said, well, I just came from the mall. I had a bag, bought a 2-pack pair of socks, you know, because I needed some socks for a job interview, and I wanted to look look okay, and I just had nothing but sweat socks, just white socks. And then he wanted to look in the bag, and I mean, this plastic bag is no bigger than this bag right here. And he said, well, just, okay, no problem. I'm sorry for your trouble. I thought there was somebody who just, some lady just got her purse stolen and looked like, and so you mistaken this for
a Foot Locker bag makes you think of a lady's purse.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, basically, you're going to mistake something as small as this for something about the size of this. I mean, really? You know.
Right.
But anyway,
so he didn't hassle you much after that, did he?
No.
Did he ask for your phone,
No.
your ID card?
No, he didn't ask me anything like that. This is
yeah, we didn't have it. But Urban's right. There were a lot of black officers that did agree with those white officers.
Oh, yeah.
In this case, it was not so much a race thing. It was just the color they all agreed on was blue. You know, that was it. It was the blue code. Because, as Urban said, there was the black lady officer who said the same thing, that, when I see a young black man, I automatically assume blah, 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 blah.
Well, there's another perception that I had with some of these police officers, and I'll let you make a comment, but something that just came to mind, is that the older guys, the quietest guys, they have this...
Yeah.
They don't know how to say hello. They don't know how to make eye contact. They don't know how to serve the community other than, I'm going to rush your ass and I'm going to throw you in jail. That's all they know. They only instill so-called fear. The more time they spend there, the more time they think that out of that the person has to respect you out of fear. No, the person will respect you out of the time that you serve.
Out of respect.
And how you treat people. There was a couple of sergeants like that sergeant. Nice guy, 20 years.
Was that the one sitting 2 rows in front of us?
The one with the stripes that was sitting next to me.
Next or in front?
In the front, yeah. But
what was his name? Was that Sullivan?
That was Sullivan.
Okay, I was trying to remember the names because after you finish your story.
Anyway.
I'll name the 4 officers that came up to me.
All right. Sullivan was a really cool guy, and he was very humble. What do you think? And that's when I told him,
he was a good
you
one.
guys have to mentor. Guys like you have to mentor. Usually the sergeants that I've met are the cool guys. But you had that 24-year guy, 24, just stiff as a board. Just, you know, that bulldog look. You had that other guy with the 12 people, with the 12 family members. I know that guy. I've seen him on the street. He was in front of Grant's Lounge. I'm the guy that went up to him, thank you, officer, and he's still stiff as a board. These people need to learn how to have relations with people. Right. They live on their job 24/7. They think that they have to stand there like some honor guard, keeping their mouths closed, when it's all about community relations. It's all about getting along with the people, and it's all about trust. And that's what I said to Coswell. That's what I said to Sullivan. That's what I said to the guy with the Polish name.
The last two
last two. I said it's all about trust. When you have a lack of trust in any relationship, you're going to have mayhem. It goes with marriage. It goes with relations in the neighborhood. And it goes with relations with the police. They do not trust you. And once that trust is broken, how do you get it back?
Yeah.
Show them. You have to go out and show them that they can trust you.
Yeah, I just want to read something from in the chat room. Jude says, the bottom line is cop fuck mostly with men, so no one gives a shit. If there were more female Trayvons, people would go nuts. Well, obviously. No doubt about it. No question about it.
Yeah. I mean, that might be part of the problem.
Well, Saibuki says if you give a guy a gun and put him in charge, you don't expect a power trip?
That's a pretty good point.
Exactly.
Coming from the gun control guy.
Yeah. Coming from a guy in England.
That's what I'm going to do.
Cops have no guns.
I'm going to name 4 people, and these are the only... Urban had a few more officers, I think, come up to you than I had up to me. They actually did come to you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I had only had 4 in the whole place come up to me, and 3 of those kind of coincided with them coming up to Irvin. But the officer you talked about in front of us, Sullivan, he came up to me at break and introduced himself.
Are you Anthony?
And talked to me and asked me a few questions about the Sammy thing. And then, of course, Carswell came up, kind of, when he was talking to you. And, and I always kind of thought Carswell was kind of a nice guy. I just always said I have to go after him as well because he's in the chain of command.
Yeah.
He is somewhat responsible for not letting his chief and the mayor know about the files of these
He kept
rogue
signing
cops.
off.
And that's why I've always
Maybe he's
thrown
too much
his
of a
name
nice
in there
guy.
too. Now, he said he's going to come on our show in about 2 or 3 weeks. We offered him. We invited him. We said, come on our show.
And he did say that like 3 times. He kept saying, repeating himself.
He said, give me 2 or 3 weeks because I have to see where things go, which translated to he has to see how they handle this whole Burns thing. Because when Irvin called him chief and said, well, I guess you're chief now, Carswell would say, whoa, nah, hold your horses. Not yet. Not quite yet. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So he said, give me 2 or 3 weeks and then I'll come on the show. So we're going to get Carswell on the show. And we can really ask the tough questions. Whether he answers or not, who knows. But Carswell, Sullivan, and at the very end of the day, after everybody left because they were riled up, because one of the last things that happened was me saying the Rodney King thing.
Yeah, they
And
jetted out of there.
They jetted out of there.
Oh, yeah.
Except for 2 officers, okay? 2 Precinct 3 officers. One I have yet to get his file yet on.
Tobler.
Eric Tobler. And the
Tobler.
other one, Matthew Coda, who I've gotten his file, and he is only one of 2 that has a fine, great record.
And we congratulated him, and he
came
felt
up to
good.
me. Well, I think he knew. I think he had read or heard about me online and on the show, giving him props, saying,
Yeah.
I will commend him for his record being spotless.
By the way, folks, we do have police officers that watch our show.
Yes.
So maybe Dumpster Baby or
They
One for
told us.
One
They
or
told us a lot of officers are watching
a
this.
lot of officers are watching
So-
the show. But again, they may not jump in as shatters, but our viewership is over 7,000 and over 1,000 in the last few days.
Yeah.
So you never know.
So, I mean, and they came up to us and they wanted to speak to us. It was Tobler and it was Coda. And once I saw their name tags, of course, Tobler looked familiar. I knew he was somebody I was going to be getting a file on. He already kind of said, a little bit of tongue-in-cheek, but I think he was serious. He said, hey, man, when you get my file, be easy on me, all right, man?
Be easy on me.
He's like, I got a couple of complaints in there. And I said, that's fine. I said, I'm not, when I get the files, I'm just announcing it to the public. I'm not really making judgment on any of them except for the ones that are obviously sort of, fishy.
Well,
And I'm just letting the public know and decide. And, and I told him, I said, because you have a complaint doesn't mean you're a bad cop.
right.
I know that there's public and there's the citizens out there that regardless of how nice of an officer you are, they're going to still be mean to you. They're going to still talk back to you. They're going to still complain about it.
And that the complaints don't hold water. I like when you use that term.
I realize that. I realize some people just hate cops and they're going to go after every cop, whether the cop's done anything or not. So I know some of those complaints aren't warranted. But, it's my job, I feel, to put these out there and let the public know what they're dealing with some of these officers. And he was very cool. And then, of course, Mr. Coda, the young guy, I told him, I shook his hand, I said, we commend you for having a good record. And I actually had my records on me, and I pulled it open and showed him his page, and he was kind of interested in seeing
But
that.
did you notice what
And,
they're a team, right?
Yeah, well,
he says, well, I learned a lot from him. In other words,
Right.
there was mentoring going on,
Right.
and look at what it produced. It produced
Right.
a clean file on a guy.
Right.
Because Tobler
Right.
was mentoring and taught him. He taught me everything I know. The big white guy is saying
Tobler
about
was
Tobler.
a black guy. Coda was a white guy.
White guy.
And
big as a house. I mean, this kid is huge.
Yeah.
Got to be 6'3".
But he seemed like a pretty gentle guy.
But
Pretty teddy
gentle,
bear.
nice, big
Smiled,
teddy
had
bear.
a
But at the same time, he's
pleasant
big like
smile.
this, so you're not gonna mess with this guy.
But I let him know that I'm gonna, just as much as I'm gonna talk about the officers that have the bad records, I'm gonna commend the ones that have the good ones. I'm not gonna just pick and choose the bad ones.
Coffee guy, yes. I even stressed to them, I know you guys have a very tough job. I said, but, if you can't take the heat in the kitchen, get out of it.
Even Tobler agreed.
Yeah.
Tobler completely agreed. He said, "You're right." He said, "I don't understand these people that complain and use the out. Well, we don't get paid very much. What do you expect? Our pay sucks." Well, you know what? Then don't go into the business.
Yeah.
You went in it knowing your pay. If you don't like the pay, don't go be a police officer.
Yeah.
You're to blame. No one else is
Yeah,
to blame.
you have to question why
mean,
they made that decision.
I agree they should be paid more. But you're not. So while you're not, accept it if you want the job. Otherwise, go find another job. I didn't make you go become and Tobler, Eric Tobler agreed with that. He goes, no, I don't buy that excuse by officers at all that that they have a reason not to do their job or to do it shoddily. He said it. He said, if you want the job and you signed and you applied for it, then do your job. And that's exactly the point we make.
And again, it goes back to
correct.
Let's make an assessment on why you chose to take the job when you knew there was low pay, and you knew that you were risking your life. It's a power trip,
right?
Other than I don't know what else. I mean they want to have the gun. They want to have the authority. That may be one of the reasons as well. There may be other reasons.
Yeah. It's the ability to get away with things that regular citizens can't.
Right.
And this sounds petty, but I guarantee some think like this. I guarantee something as simple as, I get to race my car up and down the street really fast, which other people can't.
Who knows?
Do.
I'm sure Sutton thought that.
And I think that's why a lot of them get in these accidents. I mean, I have a lot of accidents in these folders. It's because of reckless driving, and maybe that's part of it. Like, I get to put my lights on, and I get to go through red lights, and I get to have that power.
Yeah. Dumpster baby's right. Taxi drivers have a higher risk than police. Power line workers have a bigger risk.
Yeah.
Truck drivers have a bigger risk. Farmers, steel workers, roofers, loggers, and
airplane pilots
all have statistically more fatalities than cops. Cops aren't the only people who risk their lives. Thank you, dumpster baby.
That's right.
Yeah. Put that in the dumpster and
dump it.
Personally, I had 4 officers that took the time to come up to me, and I thank them for at least coming up and just trying to see what our side of the story was.
Right.
And and
Truth
again,
until won't talk about pay. I mean, I actually found out when you told me about that they would start off, if
$14.99.
$14.99. That's twice as what I made at when I worked in television. Like, jeez.
Yeah. $15 an hour.
I would love to make that.
Straight. If they go in
$15 an hour, but they have benefits. They have medical benefits and all that other crap.
But that's $15 an hour
Pension.
only if they go in straight with no background. If they have military or previous law enforcement background, they go in at $15.99 an hour. They go in extra. They go up another $1 or so.
Oh, okay.
So someone like Sutton, who was in Afghanistan and was in the military, he was going in at $15.99 an hour.
So almost 16 hours, right?
16.
Okay.
So
it is a choice.
I mean, it's a choice, and I don't buy it. And of course, a lot of officers went there; they weren't going to change their mind. It didn't matter what these 2 people from the Department of Justice were going to tell them.
Yeah.
They weren't going to change their mind. It's like Urban said; they have in their mind that they're always right. It doesn't matter the situation.
Right.
If they see a 90-year-old lady with one leg hobbling into a bank, and she happens to have something they think that looks like a
rifle as a crutch,
or something, they're going to automatically sue. This is like the biggest crime boss in the nation. I mean, cops just automatically kind of make that attempt, and that was a bad analogy. But
that's really what they're looking for.
Like,
they're looking for something suspicious. They can't perceive that maybe those kids were running in the store. Maybe just because they had less time or whatever, they can't perceive it.
I know darn well it was because they were young, strapping, strong, physically fit black men. And that's obviously what they. And I could have used 15 other analogies, but I used the older white gentleman in suits.
In suits, that was funny.
In tuxedos. But I could have said, what if it was 4 13-year-old kids, right, who ran out of their parents' car, who parked, and the parents said, go in there and get you a bag of chips. And the 4 kids run in there. Do you think the officer would have suspected anything with 4 kids, little kids running in a store? No, they wouldn't have. No, they wouldn't have, because they're not profiling in that case. Right. And the same thing with, old ladies. 4 old ladies running in there.
Sabuki says, I love the way you know what the police are thinking.
Well, but Saibuki, come on. I mean, you're in a state. You're in a completely different state, Saibuki.
To a different country.
Well, yeah, but when I say state, when I say state, I mean police state.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying police state. You're in a completely different police state, Saibuki.
Yeah, because the police
you're
don't
in a police state that doesn't even behave
guns
the same way we do here. The police does here. You can't compare it.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, we know, whether they want to admit it or not, they profile. They do it. They do it. And unfortunately, it's at times a necessary evil, because in times it does work. You know,
Right.
I mean, it does. But look at the case, which I wanted to bring this up as well, and I didn't because I didn't have time. Look at the Boston Marathon bombers, right? They didn't look like anybody you would really profile
Right.
until after it happened, right? Seeing them in that video walking around, they blended in like everybody else. You know,
Yeah.
one's got a baseball hat on and sunglasses, and the other one's just hanging around. You couldn't profile those people, right?
Exactly. Like I said.
Now, if they were two guys with turbans on their head, right, and long beards,
Yeah.
I guarantee they would have profiled
Oh,
them
yeah.
in a minute.
No question
in
about
a minute.
it. No question about
Right,
it.
right.
Coffee Guy says, I think they're too quick to hire a vet just because they're a vet. They need to check
Right.
their mental fitness.
Right.
And he says, it depends on the community. Gwinnett has a higher standard in the hiring process, not higher, but a higher
Yeah.
standard in
Yeah.
processing people, hiring people.
Yeah.
Says, Aunt joined the Explorers and ride around with Sutton for an evening.
Who was that? Said that.
Coffee Guy said that.
Well, the other thing, Saibuki says, I do not claim to know what anyone is thinking. Here's the thing. You should go to these forums, and then you'll know. You'll be informed on how well we're right on target by the way they think and the way we perceive them to think. We're right on target.
Right.
We're right on target.
and
Why don't you go to one of these police forums before you make that judgment?
And the thing about Saibuki, it wasn't every officer in there that believed that.
No.
A lot of them probably agreed with us. But that's the problem. There's that wall of silence. They didn't want to stand up in the forum
The blue
and
wall
go
of silence.
and go, wait a minute, I do think we at times do profile.
Right.
No one wanted to say that as an officer.
Nope.
Because the ones that might have agreed with us just sat there and didn't say
And
anything.
didn't say anything.
And let the other 15 or 20 go back, rah, 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 rumble, 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 rah, rah, you're making me mad. You know, and that's why I said you can act all you want here in Macon that race is not a big issue, but it is, and it was
It
obvious.
is. I
It
mean,
was
it's
obvious.
stupid.
Well, it was obvious yesterday.
It's stupid to think
every
that...
cop that complained just about what I said was a white, and I'm not going to say they were redneck, but their demeanor and the way they sounded was a typical white Southern
guy that's
redneckish
offended
guy.
that you're bringing up
That's
race.
right, exactly.
But they are so
Exactly.
stupid.
Exactly.
I'll tell you why.
Exactly.
How could you not have a racial issue in one of the most racist states in the Union? Hello? I mean, you got to be absolutely moronic and deserve 4 lobotomies on your brain
Okay.
in order to get you right. Wind up like the Kennedy kid.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Derek.
I mean, but speaking of which, I mean, like people used to have those laws back in the '90s with crack person with possession of crack cocaine get more time than a person with powder cocaine because they're more poor, and I guess they need the poor.
It shows their income.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you're dealing with that, right?
Yeah,
right.
And they get like 20 years or
Right.
something like that. But where's the guy who just recently, or I'll probably talk about it in the next hour, this guy received 15 years for dealing meth, which is something that you see in the trailer park rather than crack, and that's the big thing now, meth thing.
Let me bring this up a minute because I wrote down some notes. Okay, they had these charts and stuff that they
Yeah, that was
flashed
cool.
up,
I saw you
that they
doing that.
flashed up on the screen, right? Okay, and it dealt with the different things. You know, they had conflict and incidents, and it had like a triangle, sort of like a food pyramid
Flowchart?
and stuff.
Okay.
But this was one thing. Irvin, do you remember when they showed the picture? They had the 5 people grouped up as non-suspects,
Right.
and then the 5 grouped up as suspects.
They showed
Right.
it on the news.
Did they? Okay, so the guy's asking, the officers, why are these suspects right here and why are these non? And of course, what do some of the officers say? Well, the guy up there on the left, he's got his hand in his shirt, he's
Yep.
wearing sunglasses,
And he
he's
could be
got a hat
scratching
on.
his nipple.
Okay, and so that's the reason. Well, that's one of the first things I said for the whole forum. Well, then in the second column of non-suspects, of course, there's your old lady, there's your guy wearing some kind of like religious uniform.
religious garb.
And then there's a guy in a trench coat.
In a trench coat.
In a
And you made a
non-suspect.
very good point.
And so then I said, well, I would look at both groups equally. I wouldn't say that's a suspected group and that's a non-suspected group. I would lump them all together and think equally that any of them could be suspects. And then I said, take, for example, the guy in a trench coat. I said, how do I know he's not a Columbine type guy that's got a sawed-off shotgun in his trench coat?
Watching
But
the
yet
Matrix
you guys are
stuff.
putting
And you
him
shut
in
him
the-
down on that
Watching,
one.
yeah, watching the Matrix.
That's exactly what I said. I
Yeah.
said, how do we know he's not a suspect? You got him in the non-suspect because he's in a nice trench coat with a briefcase. Looks like a businessman, a white guy, right? A businessman. And so, of course, like you said, no one said anything to that. You know,
Okay.
what's this guy know?
Well, it's speaking of which, Yurek says I need to make some coffee, so please take a break. I think is it time for break, Ed? I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
9:09.
9:09 a.m. in
Good to
Macon,
see you
Georgia.
back.
Thank you.
The flow's already better.
It's 63 degrees right outside of Macon, Georgia. It's partly cloudy with a high of 78 and a low of 60. We'll be right back, and hopefully I'll be able to get my cousin to come by. He said the fog and the weather kept him from coming here yesterday, so hopefully he'll come in today. You're watching the Morning Roast live from downtown Macon, Georgia at Shadows Interactive Dinner Theater.
Yeah, baby.
Stay tuned.
Lawyers for Stephen McDaniel are requesting more time to file pretrial motions for the upcoming murder trial. McDaniel is accused of killing Mercer University law student Lauren Giddings. Today was the deadline to finish pretrial motions, but attorneys are asking for a 30-day extension. McDaniel is set to go to trial on September 9th. He's been jailed since July of 2011. Bibb County District Attorney David Cook announced earlier he won't seek the death penalty against McDaniel at the request of the victim's family.
We'll have lunch.
Middle Georgia State College police are asking for your help in locating a 19-year-old student who has gone missing. Take a look at 19-year-old Jamal Malik Keys. He was last seen last Thursday on campus in Cochrane. He was last seen wearing a yellow and white shirt, black jeans, and black and white shoes. He's 5'4", 210 pounds. If you have any information on his whereabouts, you're asked to call the Middle Georgia State College Police at 478-934-3002.
Deputies arrested 3 people after a high-speed chase through Monroe and Bibb counties earlier today. Here they are, 20-year-old Jonathan Irving, 23-year-old Rachel Gerald, and 22-year-old Christopher Snelson. Authorities believe that Irving and Snelson led deputies on a chase at the I-475 and I-75 split around 11 this morning. When 2 were stuck in the median, they got out of their vehicle and ran off. Deputies caught up with Irving in a car driven by Gerald near Bolingbrook. Snelson was caught around 5:30 this afternoon near the same area. Officials say that they recovered a stolen weapon in the getaway vehicle.
Story 60 years ago today, Mother Nature unleashed one of the deadliest weather events in the state's history, and it was right here in Middle Georgia. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Cox is live in the studio with the story. Jeff?
Well, Tiffany, there have been nearly 250 confirmed tornadoes in central Georgia since 1950. 18 of those have crossed some part of Houston County. But 60 years ago today, it wasn't just any tornado. It was the deadliest twister in central Georgia history. It made headlines everywhere. Tornado takes lives and injures many in Georgia area. The twister's death toll ended up reaching 18, with hundreds more injured and at least 1,000 more homeless. It's one of the earliest tornadoes to be captured on film. What you may not know, it touched down in Houston County, what was then a still growing Warner Robins, population 16,000. Central Georgia's deadliest tornado dropped in this exact spot, April 30th, 1953. It was very rural back then. It's now the home of Huntington Middle School, and on the path that lasted about a mile, it went in that direction. What's over there, you ask? Robins Air Force Base. There was no advanced warning of the wicked weather. The F-4 twister touched down around 5 that afternoon, just as civilian and military workers were headed home from Robins Air Force Base. The over 300-yard wide tornado stayed on the ground about a mile, moving northeast and crossed right over the base.
And all of a sudden, I saw this big thing in the back, big tornado coming.
Those that survived the nightmare storm remember it like it was yesterday. Ron Adams can attest to that. He survived it.
There's a woman across the street, back to cookies for all the kids in the neighborhood. I saw her. She was standing there washing dishes. I thought, well, gosh, she's going to get killed.
The damage left behind, staggering, measured in millions by 1953 standards. Dozens of homes were leveled. Especially hit hard was the North Ziegler apartment complex. It was a time when satellite and radar data wasn't available. Forecasting was in its infancy. The 100-plus mile-per-hour winds wiped some small communities off the map, leaving those impacted by the storm dazed.
It's bad. It's real bad. Everything was told about. I heard it picked up a tank on the base in 2 cars and took it on trucks, and
And for those that rode out the 1953 tornado, it's left a lasting impact.
I'm scared of bad weather now. I'm scared to death of bad weather.
And you blame the 1953 tornado?
Yeah.
How about another fascinating story for you? Articles document a then 7-year-old girl recalled her mother grabbed her with her stuffed animal and her 2-month-old brother and ran to the bathroom. It was there that her mother pulled out a Bible and read to them for nearly 30 minutes as parts of the house were blown away. By some miracle, they survived. Afterwards, she could only remember one thing, the rubble that was everywhere. Well,
oh, Bubby, right? Booby, I'm so sorry. Booby and Pop. Peepaw. Damn it. You guys still hear me? If so, you should know that my Nana once mistakenly wrote me a birthday check for $10,000 and I didn't catch it. I promise.
Brand new afterthought. Have you seen this right here? I can't. Oh my goodness. I mean, I'm a dog lover. I'm definitely a dog lover, but I gotta show you this, man. Could you see this? Watch this. This is funny.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. A real gangster ass nigga. A real gangster ass nigga never runs his fucking mouth. A real gangster ass niggas don't start fights. It's always got a hockey.
Could you rewind this?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. A real gangster ass nigga plays his cards right. A real gangster ass nigga never runs his fucking mouth. Real gangster ass niggas don't start fights. It's always got a hockey.
Oh man. Doggone hip hop gangster dog, man. A hip hop dog. Gangster hip hop dog, man. I can't believe this. I can't even fathom that. Could you imagine this? A gangster hip hop dog. So you know what that means, right? When he pop his collar, all the bitches really holler. Yes. Come on now. Come on. You know what's funny. Come on now. Okay, it was funny to me. I don't give a I know. People. Bad Derek. Bad Derek. I know. That dog is funny. I don't give a what to say. Anyway, that's my afterthought.
And we're back.
Yes.
Urban's outside finishing up what he's finishing up. This is the morning roast. Derek Barrett, Anthony Harris, making karaoke. Ed Einbinder coming from Shadows Interactive Dinner Theater on 2nd Street.
Yes, it is. It's Wednesday, May the 1st, 2013. It's 9:18 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time in Macon, Georgia, with a high of 78 and a low of 60. It's right now 63 degrees outside of Macon, Georgia, with partly cloudy skies. 20% or so chance of rain. Hopefully it'll stay.
It's already sprinkling. It's no chance of it. It's already raining.
It's already raining?
Yeah,
okay.
It's sprinkling.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do this. They've been filming Need for Speed, as you all know here. And apparently it went on last night. A few friends of mine We're up late, having to hear those cars screeching up and downtown streets.
Mm-hmm.
For today, Wednesday, May 1st, here is what we're looking at. From 6 p.m. to midnight today, they're going to be on 2nd Street between Walnut and Cherry, Mulberry Street Lane, which is the alley between 2nd and 3rd Street. It says Mulberry Street will remain open except for holding traffic short periods of time. From midnight to 6 in the morning, they'll be filming at Cherry Street Lane Alley between 3rd and Martin Luther King Boulevard, MLK Boulevard between Cherry and Plum, and Poplar between MLK and 6th Street.
Okay.
So there you go. That's your Wednesday filming of Need for Speed, and then they're supposed to wrap it up tomorrow, Thursday, May 2nd, by filming from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. on Poplar and Lower Poplar between MLK and 7th Street. And we'll, of course, address that again tomorrow. So there is your street closings and detours. Be aware of that if you're coming downtown tonight and throughout the night.
So you just talked about what's happening here tonight?
Well,
Yeah,
I talked
the
about the filming of Need for Speed. What streets are going to be on tonight? So that lets everybody local know, you know.
Yeah, just streets to avoid so you won't get...
or come down and gawk at it.
That's
you
funny.
might not want to avoid it. You might want to come check them out.
One of one. I always get that. People think I'm Spike Lee.
Yeah.
One of the most arrogant guys that there ever was. Yeah. I guess maybe that's trying to tell me something.
Right.
Short,
I mean, if Irvin was
short, arrogant, and with
Irvin,
glasses.
You know, if Irvin was a Jew, then I would of course call him Kike Lee. But he's not, so I can't use that one.
Yeah, you can call me Spickly.
Spickly. There you go. I love it. Spickly. Or no, you'll be Spick-wee because you're short.
Yeah. Well, whatever. Hey, Edward! What's going on there, buddy?
I get it.
All right, Edward Mampa's on. I love it. All
Anyway.
right.
Ooh, boy.
So, we have some local news.
Y'all are right.
I heard this morning on the radio driving here that there was some local stuff going on. Well, actually, that's one of the ones I was about to say.
Oh, here we go.
Derek Barrett's reading my mind today.
How about that? That's a first? Okay.
And a last, Derek says. Because I don't want to read anything Anthony's got to offer.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Sorry, guys. Go ahead.
There were 3 arrested after a chase in Monroe and Bale County.
You were here on break, you would have seen the video.
Oh, my bad.
Well, recap it.
I'll go ahead and recap it.
Because also, Ed, other people might have gone and got coffee in the show and not seen it either.
We'll go ahead and recap.
Well, actually, they come back from break to watch my videos.
Oh, so they leave now. They're all gone now, and then when it's break time, they come back for Ed.
Okay.
Ed's got his own show. We don't know about it.
Here we go. 2 suspects involved in a chase in Monroe County were caught after a 6-hour search that began around 11 o'clock Tuesday morning. A Monroe County deputy attempted to stop a speeding Dodge Charger on I-75 southbound near mile marker 179. The car was traveling 85 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour zone. The driver of the car refused to stop and continued to drive south on I-75 into Bibb County, at times reaching speeds of over 120 miles per hour.
Wow.
The Monroe County deputy attempted to execute a pit maneuver to stop the speeding car near Tom Hill Senior Boulevard, but the car spun around and began traveling north in the southbound lane of I-75 in a construction zone.
That guy had a need for speed.
He definitely did. Yeah, shortly thereafter, the car crossed the grassy median to the northbound side of I-75 and continued driving back into Monroe County. As the chase near Pate Road, Monroe deputies attempted to employ stop sticks to deflate the tires of the car. The car, in an attempt to avoid the stop sticks, crashed in a ditch. 2 men in the car ran away towards the access road near Boiling Green Nursing Home. One suspect, Jonathan Irving, age 20 years old, from Ellenwood, Georgia, was arrested a couple of hours later after he was spotted in Monroe County by a Monroe County deputy in a gold Chevy Malibu. As the vehicle stopped, the suspect ran and was apprehended near the I-475 overpass on highway.
All right, we're down again.
Okay.
First time it happened, isn't it, today? First time we're down?
Second time.
Oh, really?
It's the first time. No.
Third time.
Second.
Today? Oh, really? It happened before I got
Third.
here?
Oh,
wow.
okay.
It's not happening as much.
Yeah.
We're back.
All right, we're back.
Sorry.
And we're going to continue the show today, not cut it short. We're just going to live with it.
We're going to live with it. We decided to live with it. So
And,
okay, is that it? So basically, what did they do to the other two? Because I
Well,
noticed
as the vehicle stopped, the suspect ran. As one guy, he tried to get away through a gold Chevy Malibu.
Yes.
As the vehicle stopped, the suspect was apprehended near the I-475 overpass on Highway 41 in Bolingbroke.
Yes.
Bolingbroke. Thank you.
That's where my uncle lives.
Okay.
Bolingbroke.
The driver of the Malibu, Rachel Gerald, age 23, of Forest Park, Georgia, was arrested for her attempt to help Irving escape arrest.
Aid and abet.
Yes. As the search for the other suspect continued, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office requested assistance from Spalding County Star Aviation Unit and helicopters searching Bolingbroke for the other suspect for several hours before capturing the man at the Glen Mary subdivision around 5:20 yesterday afternoon. The suspect has been identified as Christopher A. Snelson, age 22, from Atlanta. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office received assistance from Bibb County, the Georgia State Patrol, and the Bolingbroke Fire Department during the chase and subsequent search. Snelson and Irving both face numerous charges.
Yeah, I think it had to be the Bolingbroke Fire Department because if I remember correctly, I think there was only one police officer in Bolingbroke. Because my uncle lives out there, and I go visit him sometimes out in his cabin, and I think he said that there's actually one police officer in Bolingbroke, and he's one of those guys that has like 3 other jobs. He's the policeman, the postmaster, and he's 2 other things. So, and he's not exactly those things, but he's one of those guys that has more than one job. There's those small places. They have those little.
We got a new guy named Bambino Lardo.
That's probably the same as the other Mama Lardo that was on here.
Big baby.
Yeah.
That's just the big baby version.
Yeah, he's already bad-mouthing our show. The show sucks.
You're right.
He got on like 2 seconds and
You're
he's
right.
already saying that.
You're right. The show does suck. Okay, so we settled that. So what do you want to talk about next, Lardo?
Yeah.
Coffee Guy says, it always trips me out if a person steals a car and then draws attention to themselves by speeding.
Yeah. It's not too smart, is it, Coffee Guy?
No. 101 says, so the police shoot them? No. Then Mr. Epstein says, nah, white women don't get shot at.
Yeah.
You're right, at a point.
Yeah, one was a white woman, the other 2 were black males.
Bambino, what the hell are you saying? Asinine. I at most made an asinine 8 tops. What does that mean? That's an asinine remark. What the hell?
Just get out of this news.
Anyway.
Good morning, Donnie Curry. Donnie! How'd your show go? You did a show after hours yesterday, after our fiasco because of the bad connection all day yesterday. How did your show go? Did everybody kind of flip over to your show? Did y'all keep it going with the Jehovah Witness talk? It was good, man. Did you tell Derek about it, Irvin? We had this guy walk in out of nowhere, Duane Coleman.
Yes.
And he claims he walked in out of nowhere. And he sat down and just started talking to us, and he was a Jehovah's Witness. And
good.
It became a big debate somewhat. And actually, Irvin was debating him. You would think I would have debated him, but it was actually Irvin debating him.
Yeah, because there's a history of Jehovah's Witness that I wanted to touch upon.
Yeah.
But I did want to mention, you had your own show yesterday too. I saw that earlier.
Oh, did he?
How was that?
Is it Cooking in the Cat Cave?
In the Cat Cave.
Or cooking Conspiracies, or whatever the hell it is? Cooking Up Conspiracies?
Donnie has more swords and knives than Vlad the Impaler.
I know. Don. Anytime I turn on a Donnie show, I mean, yeah, you're right. He's got all this shit hanging behind him. I'm like, damn, Donnie.
Well, I am excited for Urak's show. So am I. I think he'll put on a great show.
Is he doing cooking? What's he going to do?
I think he's doing the conspiracy theory.
Oh, cool.
No. I'm just kidding.
No, he should.
Yeah, y'all say, have conspiracies and cooking.
Yeah, he migrated to the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's great. That's right. The Galloping Gourmet.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Galloping Wildcat.
Yeah, I need to be on your show just to show people, see me make the traffic light chili.
Yeah. And I need to be on the show to show them how to make a perfect rice and beans with pork fat bag in it.
I don't need to be on your show because I might bring some officers there that find out where the cat cave is. So I need to stay away from his show.
Yeah, I think that's really cool though. Having a cooking show.
Yeah.
You have a leather making show. And
This sounds like gay porn.
and and we have the bullshit piece of crap show. How's that?
We got the show that just goes with the wind.
Yes.
That goes anywhere.
Yeah.
And
goes
thanks.
with the wind.
I just want to say earlier, thanks, Gamer Girl, for the compliment. It don't look like I'm losing weight though. I guess I have to just have to check myself, see if I am. But I know I'm getting kind of out of winded when I'm done. But that's about it.
Shit, you hadn't seen
You know
Out of
this.
Winded until you were on the set of Nick Chopper and the 40 Wolves.
Oh,
And I'm not just talking about Derek being out of wind. Hell, remember Eric Hutto was out of wind as hell. Of course, Eric Hutto's
Yeah.
about 50-something years old.
Oh, okay.
But boy, it was funny seeing some of you out of wind people out there.
Anyway, Coffee Guy, they do have some weird stuff on Vaughn. People sitting there staring at each other.
Coffee Guy, why don't you do a
Kind
show?
of weird. Yeah.
I know why, because you got a life. That's why you're not doing one.
No, it'd be like
no, do like car mechanics. My brother's good with cars.
yeah.
My brothers like do stuff about cars. On
Have your
on-
wife come in and yell at you. And,
car show. Car
what
talk.
are you doing?
What number are we? We're number 2 behind that damn smoker.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Quizman. Like,
Let me
damn.
do this real quick.
Well-
We touched on Need for Speed. Let me do a shout out to my buddy Matthew Smith.
Mhm.
You met Matthew. He was on the art block.
Yes, I remember.
Matthew Smith's been emailing me personal emails. He told me about a year ago or so, a little less, that he was wanting to turn his graphic novel. This is a comic he wrote. He and a buddy of his. He does independent comics. This one's called Bee Sting. It's a one-shot, kind of horror, kind of redneck.
Got blood all over him.
Well, it's like a horror. It's a horror story. It's like
Oh.
a tip, kind of redneck camp kind of horror story. Well, anyway, he's turning this into a movie,
Wow.
and he is
Animated or live action?
No, live.
Oh, cool.
So what it is he's kind of come to myself and Will Grammer to help him with it,
Good.
and we will be announcing the audition soon in about a week or two.
Cool.
You have
auditions.
somebody.
And it's basically it's Bee Sting, and like I said, he wrote it. He doesn't live here, but he's I guess associated to this area, from the area, and he lives somewhere else. Doesn't live in this state, but yeah, he does comics, independent comics. He writes them. He teams up with different independent artists, and he's put out quite a few different things. He put.
Is that his artwork?
No, he's the writer of this, not the
I see.
artist. He wrote it. But he wants to turn it into a movie, and he's employed us to kind of help him film it, cast it, get the locations. So we're going to work on this in the next few months. And again, any local people, keep your eyes out. Casting call, audition notice will be hitting the airwaves in about a week or so on different sites. We're going to set up a place to have auditions.
Wow.
We might have the auditions here at Shadows.
That's
Told him
great.
I would find a
I'm
place
sure
to have
she'll accommodate us.
So check that out. Bee Sting by Matthew.
Do
D.
they have
Smith.
a part for a short guy?
It was funny since I was helping him out. This is my copy of it that he gave me a couple nights ago. I was at home hanging out on the patio, enjoying the weather, and I went ahead and wrote down the character breakdown. Started writing down the
good.
breakdown. And no, there's parts as far as you can be some of the sort of featured extras.
Okay.
Now, as far as the main part, no, there's no one that really fits your look.
Okay.
You could be thrown in there as
That fits your book. I like
look, but yeah, it's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 somewhat featured roles with lines, and then there's 15 to 20 to play campers and baseball players, and 15 to 20 people to play some rednecks,
Okay.
mountain folk. So
We'll
let you guys know.
Okay.
We'll let you guys know how it goes. And
Coffee Guy says, let me know if they need a cop.
my brother's referring to his stint as a cop in my first film I made, my feature film, Am I My Brother's Keeper, that I made back in the early 2000s. My brother was a cop in that.
You're my brother's keeper. Yes,
Hey, Edward, say hello to Damien for me.
What's that, Irv?
My brother's got to go. He's going to take his son Damien somewhere.
Damien Omen 2.
Yep, that's why he named him.
No, really? Is
Yeah.
he named after Damien and Omen?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just reading what Graybeard said to Derek, Deal Time. Right now, Dalton off on call it 50 Shades of Coffee. A documentary on the black kink community in Georgia.
No. 50 Shades of the Down Low.
50 Shades of the Down Low. Wow.
Yeah, Damien is a great kid.
So, guys, you brought it up. What do you think this 50 Shades movie is going to be like? I heard they're making it into a movie.
Yeah.
Now, do you think they're going to really go all... I've not read this book. I don't even know the synopsis of this book. All I know is that this woman goes, meets this really sexy, mysterious guy.
My brother wants you to give him a laugh.
And they start doing something. I have to do it. I have to do it spontaneous, spur of the moment. I can't just do it.
Oh, you mean-
I'll do it. Just stay on, Edward. I'll do it.
Talking about a laughing sound effect?
What am
or
I
just
crazy?
laugh?
No, my crazy face laugh.
Well, I don't know. This 50 Shades, isn't that the book on how to have sex?
Well, you know, it's a story about a woman who meets some
Kind of
guy.
going to be like your movie.
I
It's
didn't
a
read
Wanda.
it. My sister-in-law
Not
read it.
necessarily.
My sister-in-law read it.
Yeah, Wanda was about voodoo, but that's a whole other
Heather's
story.
sister has an autographed copy of it, signed by the author.
Wow.
Really?
And she's read it, and I've not read it, but apparently it's this woman and this guy are just doing it all day long.
Yeah.
And the guy's a mysterious guy.
They must have been doing it like at least 50 times or something because
But, you know, the thing about it is they're going to make it into a movie. I guess, are they going to go all out, no pun intended, balls to
Possibly.
the wall?
Yeah, possibly.
I think it's going to be a big laugh.
Yeah, Sabuki says it's about domination. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's
Greek
about
domination,
domination,
like
yeah.
tattoos.
Yes.
I think it's...
So it's about the Macon Police Department. You know? 50 Shades of Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a couple of black guys. Anyway, I'm serious.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean,
We
I've
shall
not,
see.
I've not read
Oh,
it,
50
but
positions.
you know.
Or 50 positions. You're right.
Wow.
Well, that was made. It's called the Kama Sutra.
No, I mean, what did it?
That's
How?
more than 50 positions
Yeah.
Kama Sutra.
So who's going to be the main actor?
I don't know. Who does anybody know?
What's
did,
the
I heard that
premise?
there's
did they,
supposedly
is it a
story?
bunch of unknowns, or did they get
Well,
some
they
big
did
names?
say they may get the new guy, Bradley Cooper.
Oh, really?
From
Okay.
from the Hangover
and all
movies.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. Who knows?
50 Shades of Blue.
Get
a good
a new
cop and
he's
bad
like the new
cop
pretty
with
boy
cuffs.
going on right
That's
now.
the thing about it in acting. That's why I have a problem with them getting the typical star actors for too many things. Because unless they change their look tremendously, you're always going to think of them as the last person they were,
Yeah.
or who the hell they're known for.
Yeah, like Herman Munster.
I mean,
Yeah.
no, but the thing about Herman Munster, I'm gonna give him credit because
Fred
he's
Gwynn,
not.
that's his real name.
But Fred Gwynn has his natural look, but in a way you could for a minute think he's different because as Herman Munster he has a lot of makeup on.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about people like, especially nowadays, as these older actors like Jack Nicholson. No one
Yeah.
sees Jack Nicholson as anything but Jack Nicholson when he's in a movie, right? I mean, he doesn't have a stretch really anymore, does he? That's why I like Gary Oldman. Because Gary Oldman can be in parts, and he's got such a range that
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you can forget it's him.
Yeah, that's
Right?
true.
You
Especially when he
can
played
forget it's-
Commissioner Gordon.
Well, that,
Yeah.
and then the guy when he played Drexel in True Romance.
Yeah,
You know?
and when he was
And-
the prisoner from Azkaban in the Harry
Sid
Potter movie.
Vicious and Sid Nancy. I mean, he knows acting because to me, that's what I like to do. I want to be
Yeah.
in stuff to where I can change my look and act
Oh, yeah.
different to where somebody watches it and doesn't necessarily think it's me right away.
I mean, personally, if I
It
had
was
the
like-
money, to make the movie version of my novel Birthright, I always thought either Eric Roberts or Gary Oldman would be perfect playing the role of Hemmings,
right.
who's the. one
I've
of
not
the
read your
antagonists.
novel, but I'll take your word for it.
Okay.
But I mean that like the Razzle. Remember the Razzle we did, Irvin?
Uh-huh.
I had so many people look at the pictures of me and then see that, and they didn't know it was me.
I know.
Yeah.
They said,
well,
I
you
didn't
looked
even know that
different.
was you. Because I had like grown the mustache.
You did look different.
I had the glasses, the 70s suit on. I had my hair on the sides growing out, bald on the top. You know, I had a 70s look. And that's great. That's what I love is when you can pull something like that off and then people don't know who you are. But my
Well,
point
Ant
is,
has a lot of history. He's even played Frankenstein, right?
yeah, on stage. Yeah.
On stage.
On stage, yeah. And I
Yeah,
played
and he
Dracula.
looked different
Looks
there.
like you're still wearing a mask.
He looked like Anthony in a car
I
wreck.
played the monster. I didn't play Victor. I played
Am I right?
Yeah. And I played Dracula.
Firebag.
I played Dracula. We did it as a Nosferatu type of way, though.
Okay,
for
so
my
you
bald
played
head.
Frankenstein's creature, monster,
Dracula. I got to get a werewolf play under my
Werewolf
belt.
play, so-
I have to get a werewolf play, and I got to get a mummy play.
Get him on play, and he'll
zombie.
run the whole. He'll have a grand slam monster jam.
Wait, I need Phantom of the Opera, and I need the Hunchback and the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Okay, then it'll be
Be all
a
right.
full house right there, full house.
Yeah, look at this.
Full haunted house.
It says here, I said, if you watch Perry Mason, they rotate the cast of extras. One day the killer was a judge in the next one.
Yeah. Perry
Yeah.
Masons were good shows.
Yeah.
You know, there was a Twilight Zone like that where the guy kept waking up and all the people were switching around. Remember that?
I do. Vaguely, I do.
Yeah.
Sounds like a early version of Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what it was with Groundhog, he stayed the same. This guy, he would wake up and the judge was now behind the bars. He was now playing the actor who was a criminal, and the lawyer would be somebody else, and it was really cool.
But yeah, so my point was Bradley Cooper, if he is casting this part, isn't everybody just going to look at the guy and they're going to see him up there naked with no clothes on, having sex with this woman, and they're going to think the whole time it's this guy from The Hangover?
Yeah.
I mean, really?
Well, not necessarily, because he was in that brand new movie that won. What was it? The silver.
Well, in The Hangover, they never saw his penis either.
No, but that's my point. Is that when you start, that's the thing about it. Yeah, you're actors and you get roles, and that's your job, and you want to be a working actor. But when you start getting people and they're just so known for everything else, and they don't do anything to change the way they sound or look, it's hard to get past it. It really is. You know, I loved a young Jack Nicholson as an actor. Now I'm bored to hell and back with Jack Nicholson. Because all Jack Nicholson does is he signs up, he gets the paycheck, he clocks in, and he does the same damn thing every movie. Yeah. Al Pacino's the same way. Dustin Hoffman's the same way. Yeah. It's like all they do. De Niro, unfortunately, is the same way. They just go and do the same junk over and over, and nobody knows they're anybody but De Niro and Nicholson and Pacino.
Pacino was pretty good in Any Given Sunday. That was a classic movie. It was really. I mean, they used a part of his dialogue for something about. I think it was something for some type of credit card company talking about. There are inches everywhere.
That's a pretty good.
Every year, inch by inch, you gotta find it to find success. Hooah!
I think that's the same line out of.
Now, who's that?
Well, I think that's a line also out of 50 Shades of Grey.
Really?
Yeah. Inches. Inches matter.
And who?
Inches are everywhere. It's played by inches.
Inches and everywhere. Game is measured by inches and feet. Inch by inch, mile for mile, we fight for that inch.
You sound like Gerard Butler in 300.
Yeah.
Dolphins! Tonight we dine in hell. Wasn't the football team the Dolphins? Wasn't the name of the football team? Or Sharks?
So the Sharks.
Sharks.
Wasn't that in 300?
No, but I was combining the two movies. Because the football team was the Sharks.
Because they were in Miami,
He sounds like he's letting out a big one over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Breaking wind?
Yes. But anyway, I mean, that's my thing with movies. It's hard nowadays for a lot of legendary actors to be taken to me seriously.
Well, and the other problem that we have is that the book is always better than the movie, and
sometimes
how good is that?
Now,
50 Shades of Grey.
Well, for the movie, now I will say this though, Godfather the movie was way better than the book. I have the book. I've read the book.
Yeah,
I've heard everybody say that. I feel the way. I've not read the Godfather book, but I've read Jaws, and I feel the same way about Jaws. The movie Jaws is better than the book to me. It's just my opinion.
Yeah,
the movie Jaws is better than the book.
Well, yeah, it's because they made in the novel the shark is female in Jaws, where in the movie it's male. You know, Bruce.
Bruce was the name they gave. Yeah. They gave the mechanical. That was what Spielberg and his crew called that mechanical shark on Jaws was Bruce. That was the pet name for it. But the difference in the book, which to me doesn't work, and it works better in the movie, is that in the book, Richard Dreyfuss's character is having an affair with Brody's wife. Right? And then, of course, naturally, when that happens, how do you have to end it? That guy can't survive. So at the end of the book, Dreyfuss's character gets killed by the shark. He doesn't survive like he survived in the movie.
Right.
So that's a little different, and I kind of like it better the way it is in the movie.
Yeah. Wow. Even Logan's Run was much better than the book itself, the movie, because in the book I was just so disappointed. I was just let down because I saw the movie first and I read the book because my aunt used to have a copy of it. She used to have a copy of it, and I read it's like, what is this mess? Basically, Francis was like a secret agent or something. And he, instead of being a Sandman secret agent, he was undercover, and like that just basically just threw the whole
story
out of a
Well, you know,
portion.
I hear they're remaking Logan's Run. I hear they're doing a remake of it.
Oh, God. They've been saying that for years
So,
now.
I mean, maybe it'll be more like the book.
Yeah.
New version.
Yurak says,
If they do, I hope it's much better.
Donnie Curry says, Forrest Gump, the movie was hands down better than the book, period.
I didn't read the book, Donnie.
Well, whatever.
So I like the movie. The movie was pretty good.
Forrest Gump was amazing. I had an ex who thought it was a true story. No. Okay.
Oh,
no.
yeah. Donnie Curry says, Braveheart, now that was a badass movie. Braveheart
It
was...
was, but I couldn't watch it a second time. I don't know why.
Yeah. Dumpster Baby, you're right. Braveheart was good, but historically so far, but it was so far from the truth because the queen of who married Edward was like in real life was like basically 9-10 years old. So there was no way in the world William Wallace would end up impregnating her.
Wait a minute, 9 and a 10-year-old can get pregnant.
Well, yeah, true. Technically, yes. Speaking because
Can they really?
Yeah.
because a girl baby is born with 300 to 500.
But when do they
adult
reach?
eggs.
When do they reach that? What do you call it?
I don't
The
know.
cycle.
You could probably
When do they
impregnate
reach
a
the cycle?
6-year-old girl.
I thought you couldn't get pregnant until you reached the cycle.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Hey, girls online, help me out with this. I don't know necessarily. I don't have a cycle.
Yeah, I mean,
But you know what
I'm not saying
I
that.
thought,
yeah.
and at 10
But
years
a girl-
old, girls don't have cycles yet.
Well, of course not.
So
but
how do they get
it
pregnant?
depends on it depends on whether or not if it's part of their if their mother developed earlier, then maybe will. But I'm just saying, girl babies are already born with 300 to 500 mature eggs, at least according from my health book.
And not only that, they'll have a cycle after they.
See?
Yeah.
They
Jared
get
did learn
pregnant.
something at Southwest.
Yes,
He
see?
still to this day knows how many eggs a woman has.
Yeah.
Well, at least when a baby girl is born.
Right.
So.
I think it's all that irradiated food that's making these kids grow.
Well, yeah, especially if you go to church's chicken. I mean, come on, you got doggone drumsticks as big as my farm. You know, I mean, these are like they must be killing turkeys and vultures. I mean, they have a chicken leg that big. I mean, sheesh.
One is he's confessing. I got to go pregnant. She was 10 years old.
I don't believe you. I knew Braveheart wasn't accurate when Mel
Did you go to jail?
When Mel Gibson showed up with a mullet.
A mullet?
I knew Wallace didn't have a mullet.
He didn't have. He was bald.
Donnie Curry seems to have a lot of time to study out stuff. He said, I studied the life of William Wallace.
Okay,
Of
Donnie.
course, he didn't spell the name right. So,
So
I just wonder.
you might have been studying the wrong Wallace. The whole
Exactly.
time.
Wall Osh.
You were studying the NASCAR driver. Donnie.
Exactly.
Yeah, the Wallace.
I mean, you're on the wrong Wallace.
See, one talking about you. Okay, she was 10, you was 8. Well, I know you lying now, man.
Yeah, you're lying.
You shooting blanks, man.
You
at
weren't
8.
doing anything. You couldn't even get it up. One of one.
Please, you blowing bubbles, man.
It's all right, Donnie. I know it was a typo, man.
Saying he blew bubbles is
Relax,
giving him
baby.
more credit than his due.
We like to joke around here sometimes. Anyway, Donnie. So, what about Wallace, William Wallace?
Donnie.
Wait, how long was his penis? If you really studied him out.
Jeez.
Well, of course, this was like 13, 14. I don't think there's anything left of him now.
He was Irish, right?
No,
Or
Scottish.
He was
He
No,
was Scottish.
not Irish.
Scottish,
God,
yeah.
he would have
Scottish.
slayed
They all
you
got
for
small
saying
penis.
that. That's the whole point of the movie.
Okay. William Wallace was a criminal, and the majority of the fighting was Scots
points.
fighting Scots.
I thought it was Scots fighting English.
Yeah, I thought it was the whole English battle.
Yeah, because the English were enslaving Scots.
William Wallace stole sheep.
I think you're reading the wrong William Wallace, Donnie.
I wonder what he was doing with those sheep.
William Wallace.
You will never know.
Bean says William Wallace was of royal blood in 6'4".
Yeah.
I know Saibuki's going to know about this shit. I'm waiting for Saibuki to come in.
Rocco's saying, Mel Gibson is a criminal. Yes.
No, so Saibuki's right. I mean, Don
Scots
Clay's
fighting
right.
Scots.
Scots fighting Scott. I thought the Scots were fighting the British.
Oh.
Okay, in
You
history,
know,
the Scottish
shows me I don't know
Highlanders were
because tell you the
fighting
truth,
the
I've never
Lowlanders.
seen the whole Braveheart movie, so
Okay.
and I don't know the background.
He said the event of the story in the movie was out of sequence, well, backwards. So that means that he died first and then he lived
out
again.
of sequence. Okay. Well, how are they out of sequence, Don? Like, don't go on like a 50-page dissertation on it. Just tell us what I mean.
Okay,
for the English. Okay, Saibuki says for the English.
Was Scots fighting the Scots for the English?
Right.
So I mean, English did have some participation in some way, at least indirectly, so to speak.
Well, you know that the Scots are the ones that have most of the influence in the South. That's why Southern people talk the way they do.
Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. Really? And up in the North were the English, of course.
Well, yeah.
Where they spoke a little more proper.
Well, yeah, I mean, but the whole country, of course.
But then there's Brooklyn.
Yeah, and then there's
Mr. Dumpster Baby says, in history, the Scottish Highlanders were fighting the Lowlanders.
Never saw Boondock Saints, one of one. I know
that is a very good movie.
I know a lot of people like it, but I've never seen it.
It's lovely. William Dafoe was really good in it. Very good in that movie.
Well, Saibuki says Scots fought Scots for the English as they are mercenary efforts and can't be trusted.
Yeah, so there weren't any Irish people involved, I guess. I mean, I guess it's totally against the totally.
Well, no, I think with most battles, you have a lot of other nationalities involved.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not predominant. Like the Civil War, you study the American Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Germans and foreigners fought on both the North and the South.
Yeah,
I mean they had their actual whole armies and platoons that were made up of foreigners that fought for either side. So, and then of course in the American Revolution, we're all familiar with the Hessians, and they were what? Mainly German.
Yeah, Germans.
And what else? And then you had, I think, some kind of, I said Haitians there, like Haiti.
Yeah,
we got the Haiti. And then we had, I got a brain fart. The other, besides the Germans, the other ones that fought in the
Tories.
No, I'm talking about that fought in the American Revolution.
Oh, okay.
That was a heavy contingent of it. Oh, it'll come to me
French.
in a minute. Well, they did too, of course, but I was thinking of someone else. I'll get it in a minute.
Well.
Yeah,
here we go. There's a couple of the KKK was formed by a Scot. True KKK was formed by Scott.
Shame of Scotland, yeah.
Yeah.
Nathan Bedford Forrest. That's how Forrest Gump got his name, according to the novel and the movie. Back in 1866.
Speaking of Brooklyn, do you know the original name of the Dodger? I think it was them Bums. But
that was a nickname.
What do you mean, Coffee Guy? The original name of their mascot or the original
the
city?
Trolley Dodgers.
Oh,
the Trolley.
Okay,
Trolley I'm glad they dropped
That's
Trolley.
when we had Trolley.
Yeah, well, I'm glad they dropped Trolley because that doesn't sound intimidating whatsoever.
No,
we're going to get you. We're the Trolley Dodgers.
Ding, 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 well, ding, it's ding, intimidating ding. When it's a troll on the site.
One of one is becoming World Peace 2.
Mm-hmm. And Donnie says, and to win the fight, the Irish came to help the final fight, which was right. Okay. Oh yeah, that one Irish dude on there. Yeah, I remember that.
The token
By the
Irish
way,
guy.
a little belated hello there, Rocco. Mm-hmm. Welcome to our show.
Yeah, we're just kind of going at it. We're just free form. Yeah. I don't even know how many news stories
I do have an update on the breaking news that I had earlier.
Yes.
Earlier this earlier in the show.
Break that foot.
The South Bibb Plastics plant may be in a total loss after a blaze. Says a plastics factory in South Bibb County may be a total loss after a major fire this morning, according to a fire official. WMAZ's Annette St. Clair reports that flames and heavy black smoke are pouring through the roof of the factory of 7670 Airport Drive near the Middle Georgia Regional Airport. Around 8:45 a.m., she reported that firefighters appeared to be pulling back from the plant due to 10-15 explosions heard inside. The fire appeared to threaten employees' cars just parked outside of the factory. So far, no injuries were reported. The fire broke out around 6 a.m. this morning at the Pactiv Corporation. Visibility is limited due to the smoke and fog in the regional airport area. Motorists are cautioned to slow down. It says the fire is so intense that the smoke is visible on radar. So the Macon plant manufactures eggs, cartons, and other packaging materials. This plastic plants company, which used to do. Wow. The company is originally based in Lake Forest, Illinois. Company spokesman Tory Burnt said that they have no further information on the fire as yet. Any other further updates?
Okay, thank you, DB.
Wow, well,
DB.
I got a crazy story here,
and
it's local. Well, somewhat local. Man poses as a woman on dating site to lure iPhone thief. Another film violence confrontation. I mean, this is about as stupid as it gets. How How addicted are you to your iPhone that you go out of your way to dress up as a woman and then cause a violent confrontation? 2 lost iPhones have been recovered in some unusual, shocking ways recently, with one man posing as a woman on an online dating site to catch a thief, and another filming his violent encounter with the person who stole his iPhone after managing to track him down.
Where'd this happen?
This happened in...
You didn't say what city or anything?
No, but it's in Georgia. These people, they just...
Well, it worked. I mean, I guess you can say it's ridiculous.
There's a musician, Nadav Nirenberg, sounds like a German guy, didn't have the best start to 2013 after leaving his iPhone in a taxi on New Year's Eve on his way to a concert. This was in New York.
Okay.
When he had exhausted all attempts at making contact with the person who had found it, he had given up hope, he explained in his blog. But the next day, Nirenberg found that someone was using his lost iPhone to send messages to a local woman through Nirenberg's OkCupid online dating account, which he accessed through an app that didn't require a password to log in. So Nirenberg decided to take action and created a face on OkCupid profile where he posed as Jennifer Rodriguez.
I think it's clever.
And convinced the thief to meet her at his apartment. When the thief arrived at the address Nirenberg had given him on the floor above his real apartment, he was carrying a bottle of wine. Nirenberg approached him and asked for his iPhone back, offering $20 reward as a peace offering. Nirenberg said he was carrying a hammer in one hand just in case, though. Thankfully, the thief returned the phone and left the building. And Nirenberg found that he had not accessed personal applications such as Facebook or email.
Wow. See, no, I think that's pretty cool that he did
I think it's pretty brilliant.
But what was you said something about he made a video of his meeting with the guy?
Yeah, no. Then meanwhile, a video of one man's violent encounter with a person who stole his iPhone has been circulating on the web, tracking him down.
Separate story.
Using Find My iPhone. ABC reported Karen Schmidtgall lost his iPhone on December 30th. When no one returned his desperate calls to the phone, he decided to get it back himself. He just wanted the phone back, said Greg Torgerson, a friend of his. Some of it was a little bit adrenaline, you know. It was the chase of trying to get the guy.
Yeah.
The pair used Apple's Find My Phone app to track his iPhone until they eventually pinpointed the thief carrying it. I saw a gentleman on a bike, and we followed him, kept tracking him every time he would stop. The guy on the bike would stop. The video, which now has more than 85,000 views on YouTube, which I want to see, shows the fight between Schmidtgall and the iPhone robber, who exchanged various punches and caused some nasty injuries.
Woo!
Torgerson, the photographer, filmed the fight until he eventually pepper sprayed the thief and tried to make his sins arrest. Another man who claimed to be an off-duty police officer stepped in until the police arrived.
Wow.
Wow.
And the guy who claimed to be the off-duty officer is the same guy that dressed as a woman in the previous story.
Don't you think that's crazy, though? They're fighting over a stupid-ass
Well, I mean,
phone.
you know, those are expensive, and people
very
people
expensive.
have their life on those phones. I mean, in general, you know, people should want to protect their belongings anyway. I mean, that's just respect people's stuff. But those people go crazy. You start messing with their computers and their iPhones, them there is fighting words.
Oh,
boy.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Them there is fighting. You can get the bank accounts that way. You can get into all sorts of information. So
Bank accounts.
I think it's pretty
savings
clever
accounts.
that he got the guy to meet him. The first story, the guy dressed as a girl, and got the guy to meet him. So,
well,
surprised Chris Hansen
One
didn't
for
jump
One
out.
is advertising for this girl named Vicky170.
What is this, a blog show?
Who the hell knows?
I checked some girl rolling cigarettes.
You watched it? You checked it out? All right. Well, no, we don't have a problem with people promoting stuff. We're all about it.
Oh, Donnie Curry says one thing I can say about our show is Z's.
Oh, sleeping.
Donnie Curry's
do
calling
yourself
out
a favor,
somebody.
1 for 1. If you want to maintain your reputation here, then and you want to promote somebody else's site, make sure that it's a good one.
Yeah.
Not some.
But that Quest Vapor.
Not some
Yeah,
skanky
like-
broad on.
Yeah, go ahead and promote Quest Vapor because they're already
Yeah.
#1 anyway.
Yeah, that's, I don't know. Like that is a strong. Well, of course, his show goes on 24 hours a day, like you said, Ed. That's the reason why he's.
Yeah, well.
Mr. Dumpster Baby says guy gets benefits in Sweden for being addicted to heavy metal.
Wow.
You think your benefits system is crazy? Check it out at this link right now.
Matter of fact, I do have. I'll talk about it during the next hour, but I do have one more local story.
Let's do this.
Yes, the Georgia Governor Nathan Deal will travel to Macon today to sign into law House Bill 350, which will require national fingerprint-based background checks for child care workers. Excuse me.
In other words, he wants to dump half of these people, so he's going to have them do background checks, but none of them are going to really pass.
Yes. Officials with the Georgia Department of Early Care and Learning said that they have concerns for a while that the state name checks just aren't thorough enough. But a case last year in Macon involving Progressive Christian Academy put this issue on the front burner.
Oh, yeah.
Says state investigators determined that the owner, Christina Hawkins, had a criminal record in Florida under a different name. In fact, she was on probation for a check fraud conviction involving child care centers there. Yet when she took over operations at Progressive, a name search of Georgia records did not turn up her criminal background in Florida. Under the new law, if workers had trouble in the other states, they won't be able to hide it. The law will cover employees of 6,000 child care centers in Georgia. Deal will arrive around 2:30 at St. Andrew's Montessori School later today.
There we go.
Hey,
what do you feel, guys? You feel that's a good deal? Do you feel that? Yeah, pun intended. That's a good deal. Do you agree with him doing that? That there should be background fingerprints on these child workers?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So, because you're usually a big opponent.
But I don't
usually
really
like Deal.
I don't like Deal at all.
That's no deal.
But I think that when it comes to that kind of worker, yeah, they need background checks. But I don't think that's the reason why he's doing it. I think he is doing it to save money. To cut down on the budget, get rid of half these people, not hire them back.
Well, I don't have a complaint with that, especially if they're not doing their job.
Yeah.
I don't think people should have their job just because they got a job if they suck at it, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I thought maybe you were going to say you don't think that's the real reason, that you thought it had something more to do with
well,
the
that's a problem. I don't think that's a real
New
reason.
World Order kind of stuff where they just want to have more people, you know, under their thumb.
Mm-hmm. By the way, going back to one-on-one, he said that's the problem. People talk to her. It's my tax dollars paying for her. How is your tax dollars paying for her being on Vaughn Live? I just want to make sure that I understand that.
I don't know, but Coffee Guy gave me a great idea. He says, Ant, you can sell your collectibles on Vaughn TV show. I might do that. Ed.
Welfare, Irving?
Ed, how much will you charge me to come in extra one day a week? Separate from this show.
So do you know if she's on welfare or you just stereotyping?
And help me sell my stuff on here. That'd be awesome.
Do you know if she's on
I'll give you a little
welfare,
cut of
Donnie?
sale.
Or maybe she could be whoring.
Is that allowed? Let me ask you.
Donnie Curry right away jumps on welfare. First of all, most people on welfare are white people.
But what's Donnie bringing it up for?
I don't know.
In what context, Donnie, did you bring up welfare? Did I miss something?
Yeah, and usually the taxpayer complainants, they taxpayer money, they don't pay taxes. So.
Anyway, we'll get to that. But guys, chatters, Coffee Guy brings up something. Is that allowed is any of these blog stations? Are you allowed to sell stuff on there? How does that work? I mean, it doesn't say in the rules you can't, but can you basically sit there and have like an hour infomercial for something you want to sell? I could be like those guys that sell knives late at night. Yeah. Oh my God! No, you didn't. You didn't just sell that for 75% less.
Yes, I did.
Oh no, you didn't. Show me that buck knife, Todd.
There you go.
You ever see those guys?
And wait, that's not all.
No,
Confident in the next
shut
15
your mouth.
minutes, you'll
Shut
get
your
a...
mouth. Let me show you how this works.
Shut your mouth. You ever see those guys are selling
yeah.
like collectible cards and the guy's just over the top?
Yeah.
We got 3 1962 Pete Rose mint condition. We're gonna let you have them, guys, for $10. No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
$10?
Yes,
No way.
I did.
We could
Wow,
do
that's a deal.
We could. That's right.
Speaking of deal,
We could have a show like that.
I know.
We'll pull some shit
That's
out
crazy.
to sell.
Why not?
We'll have like a yard
show some
sale.
of this shit that you
We'll
got.
have like a yard
that's-
sale.
Yeah, we got berry blend.
And that's not all. We'll come right now. We'll give you a brand new dictionary for free.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Call
and
us
we'll
at
send you this
1-800
box of chocolate egg matzo along with it.
No, but I mean, really, I do have a lot of old stuff worth some stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of them I'm giving to my kids.
Actually, Yurak has some shit.
Yeah,
That
Yurak can do that too. Yurak's got a Michael Jackson unopened record player.
yeah.
Oh,
From
my
what?
goodness.
From like the Beat It era.
And
Really?
it's
Yeah,
worth.
you ever saw it? He's got it
It's
over
worth, according to what I saw on Porn Stars.
Pawn Star.
Porn Stars.
Even though Michael Jackson could be connected to porn.
Yeah, you never know.
Anyway, no.
But
500, right? How much was it?
No, it was $250 in the box,
$250. I know.
and
Right.
it was like what was it, like $13 when you bought them
Yeah.
originally?
Well, I got a lot of old Star Wars stuff. You know, I got my Star Wars collection still, but I already promised my son Max I was going to pass it down to him when when and if he loves Star Wars.
Maybe that's a good way for us to get sponsors. Send us all your bullshit. We'll sell it.
Well, no, I do have
Keep
stuff
the
to
money,
get rid of. It's
send
just
you
a
a-
lot of it I want to give to my son and daughter. I mean, my son
Yeah.
mainly. I mean, I've got a lot of the boxes still to my Star Wars stuff. I've got the old original Death Star, and I got the box with it still. I got the Millennium Falcon with the box. you know.
Wow.
I
It's
got
incredible.
a bunch of that stuff. I got some good comics I might sell. Hell, I got the first appearance of Wolverine
Wow, that's incredible.
in the Hulk.
That's incredible.
That thing's worth a lot. That's incredible. No, you don't have it.
Yes,
you
no,
don't have that.
You have to
Shut your
respond that
mouth.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, it's
You got 5
10:05.
minutes to get these fine deals.
It's 10:05 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time in Macon, Georgia. It's 63 degrees outside, partly cloudy with some drizzling showers with a high of 78 and a low of 60. We're into our home stretch. We're going for a break.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
We went by that fast. Oh my God.
It's been that fast.
We got a great deal.
You're watching the Morning Rose with DB, Irv, and Ed. What's his name?
That guy over there.
That's the name. That's brain fart. We'll be right back.
Uncle Fester.
We'll be back.
Live from the Shadows Dinner Theater.
Yeah, baby. We'll be back, I guess. Whatever.
Macon's best kept secret is no longer a secret. It's theater. It's interactively entertaining. It's Shadows Dinner Theater, located at 438 2nd Street in the heart of downtown Macon. With its offering of culturally diverse entertainment options to include Murder Mystery Fridays to Therapeutic Tea Party Thursdays, Shadows is more than a theater. It's an interactive experience. For more information, go online at shadowsdinnertheater.com.
A wealthy Indian man's obsession for gold and fame resulted in this shirt, made out of solid 22-karat gold. Priced at a staggering $250,000 US, the shirt took 15 goldsmiths 2 weeks to make, each putting in 16 hours a day. Its proud new owner is 32-year-old moneylender Datta Fuge.
I had the desire to do something that would spread my name across India. So the owner of this store, Tishpal Ranka, gave me this idea to make a gold shirt.
In order to make Fuge a shirt worthy of the history books, designer Tishpal Ranka had to go back in time to find instructions on putting together a metal garment.
We got the concept of the shirt from the armors of kings which they used to use in the time when they used to go to fight.
The shirt comes with 6 Swarovski crystal buttons, an intricate belt also made out of gold and weighs about 3.3 kilograms, or more than 7 pounds.
Sai Bookie
So
says
what,
push him in the
what
river.
does Alamo Square Park mean to you?
Oh, it's just kind of our home. I don't know. It's I don't know. We started out in Alamo Square. You've always been here since I've known you, and it's so much a part of you and Callie that it just feels part of our life. I mean, it looks like a robot.
Wave to it. Hi. Oh my gosh.
See where it's going.
What's on top of it?
Oh my God. Totally.
Well, dude, just fine, wasn't it? Here at Alamo Square Park, this place that is so special for us, I wanted to ask you the most important question I've ever asked in my whole life. Christina, will you tell me how I ever got so lucky just to have somebody like you in my life? So beautiful, so smart, so kind. You don't have to answer. I just wanted to make you wait a little bit longer. Christina, my love, I'm so grateful
Bye, Donnie.
for the love you've given me over the last 4.5 years.
Dumpster baby. That's a good one, Dumpster baby.
Yes! Welcome to the Morning Roast, live downtown at the Shadows Interactive Dinner Theater. This is DB along with Ant. Irv is right outside finishing.
Irv has no concept of time. We already know that.
Yes.
So
it's 10.
Irv will be in like 2 minutes later.
Okay, it's about 10:12. It's 10:12 Eastern Daylight Savings Time. In Macon, Georgia, it's 63 degrees with a high of 78 and a low of 60. It's getting close to 11 o'clock. Are there said there's going to be some more filming there due to the weather?
Well, I mean, I'm assuming they're going to film. It's not till tonight. Now, I guess they're hoping the weather's going to stop being the way it is.
Yes, I just hope I'll be able to get a call because I need to get.
Well, it's basically tonight, starting from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Okay.
It's a nighttime shoot once again, which I don't know if they need a hell of a lot of extras for that because it's nighttime. So, you know, I was lucky to get called for one day because I don't think they used a hell of a lot of extras on this.
Yeah, I just hope.
So I'm honored to get called for it. Even if it's just extra work, it's still good to be called and get that paycheck.
Same here. I just hope I'll be able to get called sometime this week. Something, you know, because doesn't hurt to get something.
Oh yeah. I mean, this man has no problem doing extra work. A lot of people have a problem doing it. They think it's beneath,
like it's beneath
them.
them. Yeah,
Screw
definitely
that.
beneath them.
Shit, I'll take it. You keep thinking it's beneath you. You go ahead and sit home and keep thinking it's beneath you. I'll take it.
Yeah, take that money.
I'll take the extra work.
Definitely.
Get the money.
Yes, I definitely have some
Chance
stories.
to be in a screen again.
I guess we can get into the national and international.
Yeah, let's get to the story that was sent to us by. Who sent us the one about the Swedish metal man?
Oh, yeah.
Let's get to the Swedish man.
Yes, the Swedish man gets disability benefits. Yes, okay. A man in Sweden has been reportedly awarded state disability benefits for his addiction to heavy metal.
All right.
According to the Global Post, 42-year-old Roger Tullgren said he consulted 3 psychologists to testify his addiction to the devil's rock, which led him to attending over 300 concerts last year, leaving him seemingly unable to hold down a job.
Unbelievable.
I have been trying for 10 years to get this classified as a handicap, he told Swedish newspaper The Local. Every spoke to 2 or 3 psychologists and they finally agreed that I needed to avoid this being discriminated against. Yes. According to the report, he now has a part-time job as a dishwasher at a restaurant in Hässleholm, which
that's very good for a metal fan.
Yes, which will be supplemented by disability benefits. Tullgren's new boss has agreed to let him rock out to Slayer as loud as he wants while scrubbing dishes, so long as he doesn't disturb guests. He has even agreed to grant Tullgren time off to go to gigs.
What?
I signed a form saying Roger feels compelled to show his heavy metal style. This put him in a difficult situation on the labor market. Therefore, he needs extra financial help. So now I can turn up at a job interview dressed in my normal clothes and just hand the interviewers this piece of paper, Tullgren said.
Just rock out.
Tullgren said he's been hooked on metal since his brother played him a Black Sabbath album when he was a toddler. Yeah, rock and roll. Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think this is much ado about nothing here?
Well,
or do you think it's a real addiction?
I think it's bullshit. Yeah, I think this guy's getting one over again.
Yeah.
Someone getting one over on the set. I mean, come on. I mean, what addiction to have, right?
Yeah.
We're off. Oh, shit. Irvin over there pulling cords.
One was that sounds like a loser. Oh, and we're back. Okay.
Yeah, you know, of course it's kind of goofy. I mean, nowadays people say they're addicted to anything, you know? I mean, honestly.
That's true.
But this is Sweden, so I don't know if that shit would fly anywhere else.
No, yeah, it probably wouldn't. It probably wouldn't.
Did it say, Derek, how much money he's getting? I mean, he's working his dishwasher job.
Yeah, it doesn't.
What's he getting to supplement?
It
that?
doesn't specify. No, it didn't specify a number.
Is that a real story, by the way? Or Ed, is that a real? Oh yeah, is that a real story? I mean, New Music Express is a real, magazine.
Yes,
I've read it before, but I mean, I don't know. Of course, I can't agree with it. I mean, good for him.
Good for him, but I just say maybe you ought to pay your bills before going to some concerts.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
You're so addicted to it that you have to have any kind of help.
Yeah.
Ugh, what a yawn.
Yeah, I mean, what Gamer Girl says, yeah, I'm addicted to social media, but not to the point where you say, you know what,
yeah.
Hey, I got to pay the bills.
You might want to try that, Gamer Girl. You might want to try that wherever you might live. You might want to say, hey, I'm addicted to the computer. I'm addicted to the social media.
Yeah.
Can I get a check?
Yeah, even Sabuka was saying that. How does he pay us for tickets with no job?
Yeah. Well, apparently they're paying for those tickets, Saibuki.
Wow, my goodness. Says Sabuki also adds, before he was diagnosed, he must had to have to pay for them himself or something.
Right.
Yeah, that must in 300 concerts at 20 euros.
We'll talk about it.
20 euros a ticket. Where did he get the money? That is true. How much is a euro compared to American dollar?
It's like, am I wrong? Is it like 180?
Like a buck 80?
Is it like a $1.80 per euro, Saibuki? What is the exchange? Anybody know? I mean, not just Saibuki. Somebody else out there might know as well. What's the dollar to the euro? Like a little under $2, or what? Well, I mean, I have no clue.
Because I know the English pound is like about somewhere between $1.50 to $2.
Yeah, that's
at
usually
the most. Yeah.
that's usually what the German mark was too. When I was in Germany, it was kind of. I mean, that was way back. But I don't know. What's the euro? Let's do eat your words while we wait for that answer.
Okay.
Here's one Saibuki will love, and any other people that really think America is shite. This is from Roger Clemenceau. 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 Georges Clemenceau.
Okay, he was the former president of France, right?
Let me see. Was he? He was. No, I don't know about that. No, I think he was just some critic. I think he was a critic. We can look him up.
Okay.
Anyway, he lived from 1841 to 1929, and this is his take on America. He says, America is the only nation in history in which miraculously has gone directly from barbarism to degeneration without the usual interval of civilization. That's a pretty funny one, actually.
Wow, okay, Clemenceau. Yes, he was George Benjamin Clemenceau. He was a French statesman who led the nation to victory in the First World War.
There you go.
Okay.
Clemenceau.
Clemenceau.
Not Clementine.
Clemenceau.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Oh, that's Adeline.
Yes. Well, he thinks that we've gone miraculously from barbarism to degeneration without the usual interval of civilization. I can't disagree with him. In a way. I don't know.
And anyone wanted to know about how much a euro is? According to the exchange, 1 euro equals $1, $1.32.
Oh, okay, a little less than I thought.
1 euro, 1.31. This is what I can't stand about, like the metric system.
Yes.
Like, it's not accurate. They add a little bit here, a little bit there, and you can never really size it up, so to speak.
Right.
You know, we know a size 2 is what?
A size 2.
Exactly. We know the distance of a mile is 20 blocks.
It's a mile.
Right.
Yeah. We know a yard is 3 feet.
And we know a gallon of milk is a gallon.
Yeah.
4 quarts or 4 pints.
And a meter is basically...
No, 4 quarts.
Basically is 39.37 inches, just a little over a yard.
But what the hell is a liter? A liter is what?
Look it up.
A half a gallon plus a few extra.
A liter is like a little over a quart, I think. Yes, 33.6 ounces.
I don't know how that makes you smarter.
Plastic canvas says 4 liters in Canada.
That's a little over a gallon, because I know a gallon, well, at least a U.S. gallon, is 3.76 liters, because I bought a lot of milk to find that out. It took a while.
I can't stand that metric system, that European piece of shit system. And they think that they got it better when they don't do as well as we do economically, although right now I couldn't say that. But
because everyone's going
for
crappy.
many years they were.
I mean, right now trying to juggle different forms of measurement. Like, how much is a mile? It's like 5,280 feet, or 1,760 yards, or 1.6 kilometers,
and some chump change,
or 1,600 meters. So
yeah. But anyway, by the way, the British were smart not joining that euro garbage. They still go by the pounds.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another thing. How do you weigh a pound?
That's a good question.
I don't know, but why did the gay deer quit going to nightclubs?
Why?
Because he was tired of blowing bucks.
That's a
Thank you very much. We'll be here till
There we
11.
go.
Thank you.
There we go.
Heard that joke yesterday.
Wow.
That's funny.
Yeah, baby.
Talking about, yeah, speaking of babies.
That's what.
Oh my God, what a lead.
What a lead.
Wow, that is crazy. It says, no, you can't call your baby Lucifer.
What?
My brother called his Damien.
No way.
That's pretty damn close.
No way. They're not taking Lucifer off the table, are they? No way. Not here.
It's not politically
Not
correct.
here. We'll cut out the posting and handling. It'll be on us. Not here. Okay, go ahead.
Wow. Here we go.
They took Lucifer off the table. No Lucifer, no Adolf, no Hitler, no Pol Pot. These are what you cannot name your kid.
It says, no, you can't name your baby. Okay, this is in New Zealand.
Yes.
It says, Lucifer cannot be born in New Zealand, and there's no place for Christ or Messiah either.
Oh, you can't name him Christ either.
In New Zealand, parents have to run by the government any name they want to bestow their baby. And each year there is a bevy of unusual ones too bizarre to pass the taste test. The country's registrar of births, deaths, and marriages shared that growing list with CNN today. 4 words. What were they thinking? In the past 12 years, the agency had to turn down not 1, not 2, but 6 sets of parents who wanted to name their child Lucifer.
Well, why not Luke? I mean, that name is out there. And by the way, the coffee guy says Lucifer Sutton. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is, again, I'm never going to condone any government telling you what you can and can't name your kid. That being said, I don't think you should give your kid a name like some of these names they're giving them, where you can't even remember them or spell them.
Like Moxie Crime Fighter?
Just whatever. You know, I could go crazier than that. You know?
Or you're talking about Orangela?
Well, even well, my point is still the government shouldn't tell you can't name them that.
Right.
I mean, that's ridiculous that they're going to get into your home and tell you.
You can't name this.
Now, it doesn't mean that you're not stupid to name your kid certain things.
Yes. Now, also shot down were parents who wanted to grace their child with the name Messiah. That happened twice. Christ, too, was rejected. Now, it must be totally different in Latin America. There's a whole lot of people who name their sons Jesus.
Yeah.
You know, which is Spanish for Jesus.
Wow.
And according to the story, as the agency put it, acceptable names must not cause offense to a reasonable person, not be unreasonably long, and should not resemble an official title or rank. It says no surprise that the names Nick's most obvious since 2001 are Justice 62 times and King, which was rejected 31 times. Some of the other entries scored points in the creativity department, but clearly didn't take into account the lifetime of pain they bring, like the name of Mafia No Fear, For Real, and Anal.
Please, they're complaining about that, and they're calling kids all these names like Dr. Humba Dre and all this shit. And they're all calling each other these weird names. And Shaka Zulu, what is that all about?
Well, that's
these weird names have been around for thousands of years.
Shaka Zulu is actually a real person.
That's what I'm saying.
I think the point who names that kid is they're picking these names off of historic people. And
and whatever. I mean, they come up with bullshit name all the time.
All they're doing is just making it difficult for their life. And
look at Mr. Dumpster Baby. Look at that.
Yeah,
Mr.
I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, I'm kind of glad my middle name is Dexter because my parents named
Dexter?
Me Derek Dexter Barrett. Yes, that's
DDB.
Yes, because that's the name of
Double D's over here.
That's the name of that short little scientist that used to come out on
the cartoon.
So we do have Double D's on this show.
Yes,
just not the kind you guys.
It's also the guy that murders people.
Right.
Yeah, the serial killer. Yeah, I know. Which is kind of weird because Dexter is Latin, means right-handed, but I'm left-handed, so go figure. But they said they named me after Martin Luther King's youngest son, Dexter King. But thank goodness they named me Dexter instead of Martin because that would have been way too much pressure.
Martin.
Especially being,
Martin.
Yeah.
You'd have been Derek Martin Barrett.
Yes.
Yeah.
4 years ago, according to this, a 9-year-old girl in New Zealand was taken away from her parents by the state so that her name would be changed from Tallulah Does the Hula from Hawaii.
Well, here's funny that we're talking about this because I was looking at my cover for my computer this morning.
Which you found.
That I found in an abandoned house. And it just so happens that the guy's name who owned this was Irvin, Irvin, which is really the way you spell my name. And he's got, look at this.
Rappers.
He's got Silk the Shocker.
These are rappers.
C Murder.
C Murder.
Master P. Mr. Cal. Right? Mia X.
Those are all
Raheem Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Who the hell names their kids Jay-Z?
They're rappers.
Yeah, they're rappers.
Silk. SILKKK. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, Silk Saga, yeah.
Timberland. God, this thing is filled with all these names here. Okay, here's a normal one. Neil Jones. You know, but I mean,
he's going all these names and he's like Neil Jones.
Neil Jones.
I bet people look at you crazy, Irvin. You're walking around with that and they see you got all these rap names on it and they look at you.
It's unbelievable.
They're thinking, this guy likes this kind of music?
Yeah, and meanwhile, I hate it all.
Carrying this shit around.
Oh, my goodness.
But he's just poor and that's all he could afford, so he found it. And that's what he uses.
I look at it as a piece of art.
Irvin will recycle, without a doubt.
Anyway.
It's kind of sad, though. It says, to be sure that New Zealand is now the only country to act as an editor for some parents' wacky ideas. Now, Sweden also had a naming law and nixed attempts to name children Superman and Metallica and some other thing.
Speaking of the heavy metal addict,
yeah,
Metallica.
heavy metal addict.
Yeah, that guy's...
Even in the 2009, the Dominican Republic had banned unusual names after a host of parents began naming their children after cars or fruit, like Mercedes or Yugo, yeah. In the United States, in the United States, however, naming fights are centered on adults. And back in 2008, a judge allowed an Illinois school bus driver to legally change his name to In God and his last name to We Trust.
Oh, jeez.
And then also that same year, an appeals court
stupid.
in New Mexico ruled against a guy named Variable who wanted to change his name to F Censorship.
One for one, I think is putting out something about this coffee that goes through a chimp's asshole before they brew it. Well, there's one with elephants. Elephant is called Elephant Tea, and it sells for like $200 a cup. And what they do is they feed the elephant these coffee beans, and the elephants shit it out, and then they have to go hand pick the beans out of the dung.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
And so,
no, I don't want coffee that bad. I'm sorry, can't do it.
Yeah, he said this one is better. How would you know?
Well, I would guarantee that whoever opened a coffee shop that specialized in that would be a smelly ass coffee shop.
Yeah.
Well,
they call it the Morning Dump.
The Morning Dump.
The Morning Dump coffee shop.
In honor of Dumpster Baby.
Yes. We want to dethrone smoking guy at #1.
Yes.
He says one-on-one says it's $500 a cup.
Oh,
I mean, really. Anybody that would drink that coffee ought to be taking and eating the $500 along with
coffee guy.
You really must. You really. I mean, yeah. If you pay $500 a cup and then drink that, you're really full of shit.
Coffee guy, you are the coffee guy. What do you say about that?
That took a couple of seconds.
Would you try that coffee guy?
Oh well. That is sick here. I got even literally. Yeah. I mean, don't you think that's sick?
Yeah,
well, yeah, but let's think about it.
First of all, $500 is way too much for a cup of coffee anyway.
But let's think about it, guys. This is what the mind does to you.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what something is, and someone comes up and says, "Try this," and you like it, why stop eating it or drinking it if you like it? Right? Don't be thrown off when you learn that, oh my God, it's moose testicles or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
my point is if we don't know what it is and we like it, why make such a harsh judgment on it? Say someone brought in that coffee, guys, and gave us each a cup of it. And say you sat there, Irvin, and said, man, this is the best tasting coffee I've ever had. Would you continue to drink it even if they told you afterwards it came out of a rhesus monkey's ass or something? Would you?
I don't know. I mean, I think that what would happen is
it has to be some
somehow
really
that I'm aware
coffee.
of it.
Right.
I would probably taste some of the shit.
Right, but that's why you best not know. It's best that you maybe not know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like if somebody gives you some really good meat and, tenderizes it and puts the right spice to it and you love it and you have a dinner and then they tell you after the fact that was dog meat. What would you do? Would you be like, well, it was pretty damn tasty?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, don't they use urine to make some perfume? Yes, they do.
Yeah, that is very true.
Especially the French.
Well, the original Jamaican, I'm talking about the real Jamaican with dreadlocks, they use dung to make their dreadlocks. People don't know that. But, the real Jamaican,
some of them look like clumps of
to
shit.
clump it up.
Oh.
That's the way the original dreadlocks were made. I'm not saying it was human dung, but they used some kind of dung to do that.
Wow.
To their hair. So
wow,
that
been there, done that.
Yeah. Wow.
I wonder if
Dung
this coffee
girl,
would
dung
taste
girl,
like if
dung
you
girl.
run it
Yeah.
out. I want.
Wow.
Yurak says, I wonder what this coffee would taste like if you run it out of your ass and drink it. I don't know,
it probably
Yurak.
tastes like Waffle House
But
coffee
I'm
because
thinking
that's what I
about
just
doing
had.
it, and I'll give you the first cup.
It would taste like Waffle House coffee because that's what we just had.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
It is the morning roast. We are talking about literally
Stuff.
shit.
Shit, yes.
People, notice lately people hate the way people use the word literally. Have y'all seen that on Facebook? Lately there's this like campaign of people saying that people use the word literally wrong.
Yes.
Have you seen this new campaign?
They literally say that?
Yes.
Yeah,
I saw
literally
some
say
people
that.
posting this.
Wasn't this an old sketch they used to do on Mad TV back in the 90s?
It might have been. But to me, don't Americans use a lot of words wrong? And Sabuki will vouch for this.
Yeah, yes.
Well, the
I mean-
word accept.
Well, I'm not talking about the different spellings of different words that
No,
sound.
but the different
They mean to
meanings,
me.
too.
Like, another word that's used wrong so much? Hopefully.
Uh-huh.
A lot of times people say hopefully completely in the wrong context.
Okay, give us an example.
Well, you would put me on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
But I've heard this argument before. But,
Hopefully you'll have an answer.
yeah, I guess that's right. I guess that would be a way where you would use it wrong.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't say, full of hope, I have an answer.
Yeah.
Right? Grammatically, you wouldn't say that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Full of hope, I have an answer. That doesn't sound
Or
right.
say,
They
I
do
hope
that
I
in
have an
Spanish
answer,
a
but
lot, too.
I guess making it as an
Yeah,
adverb is more.
And I didn't really follow up on the whole nitpicking
Yeah,
about literally.
yeah.
But I just noticed lately, about a week ago, that there was multiple people on Facebook feeds that were going on how, what really irks me is the way people use literally wrong.
Yeah.
And they were going on with this, and I just didn't follow up.
Well, before the United States became what it is now, which is, anti-Hispanic or Latino, they used to teach Spanish in school as a regular.
Yeah, it was one of my main
right?
courses.
And
Yeah.
now they teach Mandarin.
Well, they tried.
But
They threw
anyway,
that
they
out
tried.
the water.
But,
They threw that out the bathwater.
Meanwhile, they were teaching it wrong because what they were saying was like, they would say, yo me llamo, right?
Right.
Which is,
What's your name?
I'm my name.
Or what's your name?
well, that's the problem.
Right.
Yo me llamo is me, my name.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be me llamo.
Me llamo es.
Me llamo.
Right?
Or mi nombre.
No,
es.
or mi nombre.
Mi nombre.
But they were screwing that up from the beginning.
Yeah.
I thank you, Mrs. De Rojas, for teaching me Spanish. Thank you very much. And your husband, the late Fernando De Rojas, because it helped me out in the school. Also helped me out on some dates.
One of
But that's a
One
whole other
says,
story.
what a show. I'm really enjoying myself. Thanks, guys. You're welcome, One of One. We're actually having a pretty good show. We had a horrible one yesterday.
Yeah,
because
well,
of
we had no
technical
show
difficulty.
yesterday.
Well, I
compared.
mean, we did an hour and a half because we were just so tired of getting cut off every 45 seconds.
So Pookie says, I am full of hope that you will have an answer for me. That works.
Well, Donnie Curry left, so I guess he's preparing for his show.
Yes, and good luck at the doctor's, I guess, a doctor appointment, I guess, whatever.
Who went to the doctor?
Sabuki says he's getting ready to go to,
Don't you,
Yamo B there from Coffee Guy. Yeah, that was
Yamo
a good.
B.
Yamo be there.
Don't you think Michael McDonald had a weird voice?
Well, yeah, I always
But
thought,
people loved it.
I always thought
It sounded like he was taking a shit every time he was doing.
I always thought he
He
looked
was
like
making coffee.
Yeah, I always thought he looked like a sheep. So I thought he sounded like
coffee
a sheepdog.
beans coming out of his
Because
ass.
he had that shaggy
Yeah.
beard and that hair.
Hey,
He
people
looked like
loved his voice, though.
I liked his
wasn't-
voice on a
I wasn't a
cover.
big fan of the Doobie
Taking it to the streets, I
I
like.
wasn't a big fan of the Doobie Brothers.
Neither was
as a
I. But
whole.
taking it to the streets,
But-
I like.
But his voice
I
was
mean, if
loved.
Scooby Doo was able to sing, he probably would sound like Michael
Yeah.
McDonald. But that just
What was that song he had with Gregory Hines or whatever he had for that movie soundtrack? And Gregory, I remember, was it White Nights?
Yeah.
What was the Gregory Hines movie where they were the dancers with the Russian? It was him and Mikhail Baryshnikov.
Well, I don't know if it was
Gregory
Michael
Hines always
McDonald.
was
I remember
dancing.
it was Lionel Richie had a song called
I thought Michael McDonald did too. in that
"Say
same-
You, Say Me."
Same soundtrack.
We're together.
Yeah, but anyway, Michael McDonald
Yes.
kind of looked
Thanks,
like
Shoes. I appreciate it.
kind of looked like Kenny Rogers. slightly.
Well, truth be told, Kenny Rogers had that hit song "Lady." It was big in pop and well as the country charts. Matter of fact, Lionel Richie wrote the lyrics to it.
Yes.
And I think the Commodores actually played the music. They played the background.
Oh wow, they backed Kenny Rogers.
Yeah, the
Kenny
Commodores.
Rogers.
Well, the Commodores, boy,
Yeah.
that brings us back.
Let's talk
That's
about
good.
Kenny Rogers because that guy looks
Mm-hmm.
like a freak. How many facelifts is Kenny Rogers?
You know,
got?
Kenny Rogers, if Donnie Curry can remove his face, he can make a nice leather bag out of that shit. I'm serious.
Hopefully,
that guy's
Donnie
got
will
the
do
worst
that.
leather-looking face.
Yes.
Wow. I got a wing dang doodle of a story.
We need one. We have not had a ding dang doodle yet.
Yes.
Well, maybe.
Says a jury began weighing murder charges Tuesday again.
Yeah, this is the guy. This is the story I tried to send you guys 3-4 weeks ago when I was on the show as Tower of London. Remember when I kept trying to send you guys the story about James Bond was almost going to be called James Secretan, and then I kept sending you this guy saying, "Talk about the abortion doctor." This is the guy I was telling you
Here
about.
it is. A jury began on murder charges against a doctor charged with killing 5 people, including 4 viable babies allegedly born alive in what authorities describe as illegal late-term abortions routinely performed at his clinic.
Let me interrupt.
Yes.
This is the same guy they said had all these cats running loose throughout his doctor's office, and there was cat feces everywhere.
Yeah.
So, listen to this. No, go ahead.
Kermit Gosnell, age 72, faces the death penalty if convicted of killing babies born alive. A string of former clinic employees testified over the past 2 months, telling jurors that Gosnell cut live babies in the back of the neck to ensure they were dead. 4 of them pleaded guilty to murder charges for the babies they said they killed or for helping sedate a 41-year-old patient who died of an overdose. They accused Gosnell of killing 2 of the 4 babies, but he could be convicted in all 4 deaths if the jury deems him an accomplice or conspirator. He has to share the specific intent to kill, Common Pleas Judge Jeffrey Meinhardt explained as he instructed the jurors, who deliberated for about 2 hours Tuesday without reaching a verdict and were to resume on Wednesday today. Under Pennsylvania law, Meinhardt explained to jurors for babies to be born alive, they must be expelled or removed from the mother and show one of the following signs of life: brain activity, breathing, the definitive movement of a muscle, or the pulsing of the umbilical cord. Gosnell is also charged in the patient's 2009 death. By that point, state officials had not inspected Gosnell's clinic since the early 1990s, the prosecutor said. Defense said that Gosnell helped desperate women who had no medical care and nowhere else to turn. He provided those desperate young girls with relief. He gave them a solution to their problems, defense lawyer Jack McMahon said in the closing arguments back on Monday. Gosnell faces 258 counts in all, including first-degree murder counts, which could bring the death penalty.
Well, I think that there's a lot of people that are on that doctor's side, those that hate abortion. That's how wacky those people get.
Yeah.
They go out and kill human beings to try to prevent them from killing embryos. I mean...
Yeah, but the thing about what's so controversial
I mean,
about
it's
late-term
so
abortion is
stupid.
that in order for them to abort the baby, so to speak, they have to come out through the womb. So when you, in other words, you have to basically give birth to killing, which once they're out the womb, there's no longer abortion. It's straight up homicide. If you have, you talking about procrastination. I mean, if you have to give birth in order to abort, that's kind of defeats the purpose, don't you think?
Well, I mean, they're not giving birth. What they do, because if they give birth, then they put them up for adoption, or who the hell knows what these doctors do. But abortion is, I believe the 3rd trimester. Once they pass that, it's really putting the life of the mother at risk.
Well,
I think they have to do it within 3 months as a legal standard. I may be wrong on that, but I know it's way before 6 months.
Okay.
6 months you're already showing, and it's not really considered an abortion. That would be considered, I'd say, murder at that point.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's for another show. Believe me, we can go on and on and on about this whole situation when it comes to abortion. Just
Oh yeah, that'll
wear
go.
rubbers.
That'll go on.
Wear rubbers or take the pill and
That's
avoid
a
all
very,
that bullshit.
very touchy subject.
Very touchy. But I think I got the wing dang donkey doodle of all stories right
Yeah.
here.
Okay, I'll
All right.
the dun, dun,
6
dun.
Hopefully you
domestic.
do, because I'm literally ready for it.
Yeah. Oh well. Guess.
Okay.
Hopefully it will do it.
Okay.
Okay. How's that? All right. 6 domesticated donkeys were attacked and killed by a pack of dogs in Jones County.
That's not a surprise.
The attack happened April 25th on the land of Betty Coulter, who had, maybe she's related to Ann Coulter.
What day?
What
day?
April 25th.
April 25th. Where Betty Coulter had raised the donkeys for 10 years. It's on the news now. Some of the dogs belonged to her neighbor, who was in the hospital at the time. A Jones County woman says a pack of dogs attacked 6 of her animals, domesticated donkeys. 6 of them died in one night. The horror, the trauma, the disbelief, the death. You would have thought we were describing a situation like what this county is going through lately, says Betty Coulter, who lives in Gray. Coulter raised those donkeys for the past 10 years. But when the pack of dogs invaded her land on April 25th, they slaughtered 6 of them, almost half a herd.
That's
really
That
terrible.
story's asinine.
Yeah. I used that word earlier.
Yeah.
That's the word
Yeah.
of the day, asinine.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, with the donkeys, I thought they would be strong enough to protect themselves because they would have had a powerful kick on them. Some of those loose dogs belonged to a neighbor. I was in the hospital at the time, and I wasn't there to watch my dogs, and they got out, sure.
I'm waiting for the story to blame it on the pit bulls. Are they saying it's pit bulls
Actually,
yet?
they're Rottweilers.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Rottweilers. I was
Okay,
wondering
so
what
we
type
can't
of
blame
dog.
Those Rottweilers.
We can't blame it on the pit bull this time.
Right.
Even though I was
right.
waiting for it to happen.
I'm surprised they were going to talk.
I was hoping he was going to say they were like Pomeranians or something. That would have been really crazy if it was
because
some small
just
yappies.
I mean, actually last week WGXA had a special about dogs like pit bulls where they had a guy who was whose dog was killed by one and he was mauled by one. His arms were chewed by it. I mean, he still has them, but he had some severe cuts from severe bites from this particular pit bull, which they put down. And then there was a family who has like 3 or 4 pit bulls, and they are like very playful around their 3-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
So the people.
Well,
are saying,
dogs like this hate other animals. I mean, I had a dog that was the sweetest, Lottie. She was the sweetest, nicest little. She looked like that little bear on the Coca-Cola commercial.
Polar bear.
Yeah, the polar bear. She looked like a little polar bear, the cutest. So you would pick her up. She would sit like this. You pick her up, and she grunt like little noises.
Let that thing get older.
But that son of a bitch was the worst with other dogs.
Let that thing get
She
older.
would jump out of your
Wipe
hands.
your head off your shoulder.
Yeah.
Polar bear.
No. She would jump out of your hands and go after any dog. She was just a bitch.
I love it. Yeah, gamer girl, I know. Only this show can go from abortion to donkeys. I agree.
Yes.
But we didn't want to stay with the abortion thing because we've only got about 17 minutes left in the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's a topic that'll go on. I mean,
Yeah.
that topic will bring Donnie Curry back. Believe
And,
me.
yeah.
I mean, Donnie Curry will show up again, and we'll
And
go on forever.
he'll say, I studied out abortions.
I mean, so we just...
And one-on-ones that said, what a jackass story, LMFAO.
Yeah! You are so punny. You are so punny.
Laughing, what is it? Laughing much?
Huh?
We got somebody new?
LFMO? What is that?
LMF. Laughing my motherfucking ass off.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's one of those
things.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not here to see it, so you have to prove that. Send a video.
Let me go ahead and do this for Macon, Georgia. We want to never be accused that we don't somewhat promote the city as well. The Georgia State Fair is beginning.
Oh, yeah, starting
Thursday.
tomorrow. Yes.
Thursday.
From May
Let's bring
2nd to
that
the 5th on Central City Park. For those who...
They're bringing it back.
Yes.
And do you realize, though, they cut the days big time.
Yeah, it used to be a whole week.
It's
now
like
it's just
4
a weekend.
days now? Second, third, fourth. Yeah, 4 days. 4 days. That's because the fair has been losing money forever.
Yeah, a lot of money. Plus,
yeah,
it's
it's
sold
still
to all the
losing
country.
money. So
yeah, so it's May 2nd to the 5th at Central City Park. If those who want to come by, just check it on and see. You'll really have a good time. I guess they had to bring it. They had to bring it during May, during late spring, early pre-summer, just because it was, because it was scheduled around the same time, or at least a week before the Georgia National Fair in Perry. Because it used to be, they both were around scheduled around October. Then they usually had the Georgia State Fair like maybe a week or two earlier, and then like after that, you had the Georgia National Fair in Perry, and more people went to the Georgia National Fair in Perry.
Right.
Well, basically, it's much bigger, and even though Macon is a bigger city than Perry, the fair was much more bigger, more entertaining, and it lasted much longer. They even had bigger guests on the show, bigger guests to perform there at the Georgia National Fair. I think Usher played at the Georgia National Fair. I think one time. I think back in the late 90s. I want to say like around 98, 99. Yeah. Usher.
I noticed something, and actually, One for One noticed. We had a lot of shit talk today.
Yeah.
And One for One said, "Oh, police shit too." Yeah. We missed that, and the elephant shit that we talked about earlier.
Yep.
A lot of shit. So maybe we're gonna change our word to
from
shit
asinine
today.
to shit. Well, it is pertaining to asinine because you have to be an ass to do something
Shit
like
comes out of the ass.
There's a fall Georgia State Fair at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Yeah, they already did that for the first time last fall. Remember, they said they moved it there.
It's October.
Yeah, that's what they did. That new company bought the fair and decided that they were going to try part of it closer to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. That fair should have been stopped ages ago. My thing about the fair is the same as the Cherry Blossom Festival. Cut the Cherry Blossom Festival down to a weekend. Give this city a real festival about music, something that really connects.
So
to
where
this
is
city.
this? Where's the Georgia State Fair happening?
Central City Park.
So it's back.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks exciting.
They have
It's the same old crap. I mean, granted, there are some kids that would want to go to that stuff, but that's what Macon needs to get rid of, is that old crap that doesn't work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a 701 in that book?
How long was?
No, the book only goes to 540 something.
540 something. You want
sorry,
to
it goes to 570.
Yeah, Gamer Girl, you overbid. This is the price.
It goes to 579, 578, 579. The last word for 579 is xylophone.
358, Yirac.
Okay. 358. We're gonna give it to DB. Give us a pass.
Gamer Girl said number 1.
Number 1.
Okay. 101 says, "Oh man, what a show! Thank you."
It's pretty good.
Did you enjoy the show? 1 for 1. 1 of 1.
Cool. Okay.
Thank you.
Here is something right here. Okay, today's word of the day is mumps. Mumps.
Mumps. Sounds like shit to me.
Yeah. The dialect noun mump meant grimace, and the use of its plural mumps for the disease is thought to have originally an allusion to the distorted expression caused by the swollen neck glands. Mump itself is presumably related to the verb mump, sulk, and belongs to a family of words, including also mumble, based on the synonym mum, representing an indistinct sound made through closed lips. Mum, silent. Yeah, itself. Keep a mum.
I kind of like what we accuse him sometimes of doing.
As does Mummer, originally mime actor.
Yeah. Is that it?
Yes.
You know what? That's awesome because you know what? Now today is officially Mump Day, not Hump Day. Right? It's not Hump Day.
There we go.
Boy, he's good. He's good.
It's Mump Day. That's right. I think like that. Mump Day. Welcome to Mump Day Wednesday.
Well, yeah, Mumps. Whatever. Grimace, my fave character on McD.
Really, Coffee Guy? I never knew that about you. See, you learn stuff about your family
Grimace.
members. I never knew Coffee Guy's favorite McD member was
Grimace. The big
I used to
purple
like the burglar.
The hamburger.
Yeah, you know what I like?
Robber.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me that you liked him the best because you kind of resemble him.
Yeah.
You kind of resemble the Hamburglar. I kind of like the Fry Guys.
That's how we
talk. Just because I like to say Fry Guys. I just like the Fry Guys because I like to say Fry Guy. Fry Guy.
You know, I met the original Ronald McDonald.
Damn, he's
I
dead
mean,
now.
after that, he was a fake, you know.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's got
some
everybody
guy who
playing.
had a weird voice.
So who was the original one? What was his name?
The original one was when he was on a
what
commercial
was
throughout the
his name?
70s.
You met him. What
Who
was
the
his name?
fuck knows? It's Ronald McDonald. I didn't ask him. So what's your name, Bob?
Well, actually, it would be Ron, I guess.
Yeah,
Ron.
Yeah. I'm Bob Thompson.
Yeah.
I play Ronald.
Yeah, anyway.
He's
I got
Bob.
some training now. Let's see, the top 10.
Some people died, I heard.
Yes,
Who's that died?
Who died?
Deanna
It's
Durbin.
off now. No. Somebody else died.
What, eating
I
a
saw it
McDonald's burger?
I saw it last night on Trending Now. Who died, guys? Is a guy. Joe somebody, was it? Joe
Schmo.
It'll come up. We'll figure it out.
The top 10 training now in Yahoo is female DNA on bomb. Ugh. Number 9 is Iron Maiden Revenge.
Swedish Addiction, Iron Maiden.
8 is Paul Ryan Gay Adoption.
What?
Number 7 is Deanna Durbin Dies.
That's not the one I was talking
Number
about.
6, Ronda Rousey, ESPN.
Who?
That was it. Number 5, 2000 Netflix movies to disappear.
Oh, say it ain't so.
Number 4, suspended 50 games. Number 3, ex-Navy SEAL runs. Number 2, Redskins name change.
Oh, don't tell me they're going to change their name because we're too politically correct.
And number 1 is Pink Reform Slut.
That's probably a quote. She probably called herself a reform slut.
You know,
do that Redskins name change because we didn't do sports today, and I want to see what that's about because I think it's bullshit when they want to change the team names because of all the
Oh, by the way,
politically
before
correct-
you go there, really quick, talking about names, I was thinking about that Harry Underwood guy.
Yes.
Ain't it funny that literally that a gay guy's named Harry Underwood?
It'd be funny if a straight guy was named
Well,
Harry
yeah, that's
Underwood.
true. I mean,
Harry Underwood.
Well, yeah, when I first started,
I think it sounds like a porn star name.
Yeah, when I first started working at Fox 24, we had a white sportscaster guy. His name was Michael Jordan. So, you know.
Yeah, but that
I bet
doesn't
he caught
imply.
that he's a
that
good
doesn't imply the
I
same thing.
bet he got a lot of shit from people.
Yeah, to my
Too
man,
much.
how you work? How's your game working, Mike?
Yeah. Hey, why don't you get me some of them shoes?
Well,
All
here's,
right, let's do
here's the
this.
story. CNN, David Grosso, age 42, was born and raised in the metropolitan Washington area, so it's not tough to see why he's a diehard Washington Redskins fan. Been going to games since he was a boy, season ticket holder, but Grosso, like so many others, objects to the name and mascot of his favorite team. The term Redskins is a racist and derogatory term, he says. These days, Grosso has the power to do something more than air his opinion. He was elected to the D.C. Council in November, and he plans to introduce a resolution Wednesday to rename the team to the Washington Red Tails. That's a tribute.
Sounds stupid.
Says that's a tribute to the Tuskegee Airmen, though, Grosso says. There are plenty of red-tailed hawks in the area. He's open to other suggestions, and he just wants the current name gone. He says district residents and elected representatives should not tolerate commercial or other use of derogatory terminology relating to any people's racial identity or which dishonors any person's race or which dishonors the name Washington, Grosso's resolution says.
Come on.
Yes. Grosso says his hometown, named after the nation's first president, has been dishonored by association with which many Native Americans call the R word because it's just as offensive as the N word. A good many Americans don't know any Indians, says Kevin Gover, who heads the Smithsonian Institute National Museum of the American Indian. The Indian you see most often in Washington, D.C. is at a football game. At the expense of real Indians or Native Americans' real history or real culture, the petty stereotype has become expected.
I mean, see, I don't agree because I don't think the intent was there.
Yeah, I understand.
That it's racist.
Right.
And who cares, people? Okay, let's face it. They do look like they have red skin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Indians do look like it. It's not demeaning. Shit, I look like I got pasty ass white skin.
Yeah,
or
but
tan ass.
But usually
peach
9
skin.
times out of 10, I mean,
who cares?
But closest to, I mean, to be honest, the only quoting to a real to like whites being named a mascot is basically the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. So basically, just saying they're just a bunch of fighting, leprechauns or something like that.
Yeah, but I'm not offended by that either. I wouldn't be offended if I was Irish and I was referred to as a leprechaun.
And then even past baseball,
hell, the leprechaun's got all the money and the gold.
Yeah, I know it. But
speaking of the guy with the gold shirt,
well, yeah, that's true.
The leprechaun's got all the money.
Yeah, but actually that guy's a real Indian, but that's a whole other story. But you know, that's not the first time there's been controversy. I mean, you had past baseball teams. You had Atlanta baseball had a team called the Atlanta Crackers, and then they had one called the Atlanta Black Crackers.
Well,
in the
they have the
Negro
Cracker
League.
Barrel.
Yeah,
but I mean, come on. It's
and plus,
just
there used to be a
little too
Negro
whiny.
League baseball team. Used to be called the Ethiopian Clowns. So
Yeah.
you know.
But we stopped. Tell us when we're back, please, Ed.
Well,
we're almost through the show.
I know that the Redskins were changed.
We stopped, Irvin.
Oh, we stopped?
Yeah. We're going to be back in about 5 minutes. Man, we were going so good.
We were on a roll, too.
We were on a damn Kaiser roll. On a damn sesame seed bun.
Man,
Chaka.
You making me hungry, man.
I am too. I got my check today, but it won't go through till afternoon. But I sure as hell am going to get some money out and go eat somewhere nice when I get my damn money through.
What are you doing tonight?
What's tonight?
We're back.
Okay.
Oh, we're back. Sorry.
Yes.
We have no control.
We only have 2 minutes to the show.
Well,
anyway.
no, did we start a little late? I thought we started a little late.
Yeah, we did.
All right, let's go till 6 after.
Yeah, we'll go 6 after.
But back to the Washington. Let me do this. I'm back into the insults book. This guy's whining about, this is insulting to our founding father, Washington. Right? This is insulting to George Washington.
And Native Americans.
Let me read a lot of insults about George Washington by his peers, okay, back in the day. All right? Now, these people weren't whining about them insulting George Washington. William Duane says on Washington, the man who is the source of all the misfortunes of our country. General Charles Lee on George Washington, and I posted this one on Facebook a few days ago. That dark, designing, sordid, ambitious, vain, proud, arrogant, and vindictive knave.
Wow.
Here is Benjamin F. Bosch from a American press paper called Aurora. He says, if ever a nation was debauched by a man, the American nation has been debauched by Washington. If ever a nation was deceived by a man, the American nation has been deceived by Washington. And then Tom Paine on Washington, will end with this
from
one.
Common Sense?
Will say, I believe so, will say and said, and as to you, sir, treacherous in private friendship and a hypocrite in public life, the world will be puzzled to decide whether you are an apostate or an impostor, whether you have abandoned good principles or whether you ever had any. See,
wow.
So quit
That's
bitching.
addressed to George Washington?
Yes. See, so quit bitching about all this nowadays politically correctness, because you know what? They had it going on then, and I liked it better. I liked that people had the freedom to
but
say what they felt.
they had a way of doing it.
What?
That
more
was
eloquent?
intelligent.
Yeah.
Well,
And
okay,
more eloquent,
okay,
yeah.
okay. So if I start coming up with
Like
intelligent
today.
ways to badmouth people, then it's acceptable.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Today they just use the N-word or stupid ass or, you know.
Well,
things
I'll work
like
on that. Next time I go accost Mayor Rickard, I'll come up with a very intelligent way to do it.
Well, it was pretty intelligent. You keeping your head about.
Well, but you know,
because
I mean-
you could have crossed that line and stayed in jail, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
But you didn't cross the line. You didn't curse him out.
Yeah,
Right.
but I remember what Mr. Dumpster Baby says. What bugs me is like when people call them black folks color. Yeah, that kind of bugs me too. I mean, white. Yes, I'm white. When I'm sick or afraid, I'm red. When I'm embarrassed, I'm pink. When I'm pink when attracted, blue when I'm dead. I've got more color. And let's be honest, white is a color too. I mean, if white people became transparent, you really see some racism. Yeah, no daughter of mine are gonna be dating those transparent people. You can see right through them.
Right.
You know
Yeah,
what they're thinking.
Dumpster Baby has a point. And, that's probably correct, Dumpster Baby. I don't ever assume that our founding fathers were just
Oh no,
fine
they're a
citizens.
bunch of racist
I mean,
a-holes.
well, not only that, I mean, you have to think you're already going to have a little bit of rabble rousing in you if you're already trying to overthrow your country.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
we
that's
already
why-
know.
Profiteer.
but-
Epstein stole other people's work.
Well, that's
yeah.
why, like the Constitution, they keep bringing it up. I'm grateful for it, but I'm not like screwing it up the ass every 2 seconds because it was written by a bunch of racists.
Well, you can't say all of them are racist. Not all of them. That's like just putting all of them in one.
Yeah,
That you're profiling like the police officers did
Yeah,
yesterday. assuming
No,
black
I-
men in their 20s are running into a store, they're going to do something wrong.
Well,
That's
it's
the
because it
exact-
happens a lot.
Well,
so,
yeah.
that
So-
perception is
I
reality.
like how the
in some
show
cases.
came full cycle.
On a
You
good,
notice
yeah.
that?
I
We
want
went back
at least on a good light before we go to Daily Word, Daily
Yeah.
Bread.
Daily Bread.
I have one
We're going to
good
go
story.
from that kind of hateful
Yeah.
thinking
To something good.
to the Daily Bread.
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
here's a
hell, we
story
went from abortions to donkeys, so why
Yeah.
not? Why stop now?
Yeah, I have a. This is from Black. This is from blackmenvent.com.
Where?
There's a story.
Oh,
This here's a story just from the news. It was a 22-year-old Nigerian student breaks GPA record at Johns Hopkins
There
University.
we go. There's a good story.
Emmanuel Ahuabunwa not only
Speaking of names,
not only graduated from
It
Johns.
sounds like the sound that's made when you take a dump.
Yeah.
Bungwa.
it's
Yeah.
like the ding dong and the Godzilla.
Yeah.
Hooah! Boom.
Yeah. Mr. Emmanuel Abunwa, not only, well, this student not only, as I was saying, this Nigerian
As
student
you were trying to say.
not only graduated from Johns Hopkins University with a degree in neuroscience, but he did so with a 3.98 GPA.
Wow.
An academic record. Ohubanwa, who hails from Abia State, has been able to make the nation proud with his efforts, has won himself a scholarship to Yale University to get a degree in medicine. He also became a member of Phi Beta Kappa Society, a prestigious honor group that features membership of 17 U.S. presidents, 37 U.S. Supreme Court justices, and 136 Nobel Prize winners.
Wow.
So congratulations.
Hopefully that guy gets somewhere in life because he literally nailed that test.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, not only that, in the old days, he would have been considered like they would have made statues out of him and bowed down to him.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, he would have been like a god.
Nowadays, all his buddies are hanging around with their hand out, waiting
Yeah,
for him
exactly.
to give him some money, right? When he becomes successful.
Yes.
You gonna help me now?
Yeah. Ambawanga, whatever your name is.
Ohuabuwan.
He sounds like a Jedi. He sounds like a Jedi Knight.
Congratulations, Emmanuel.
Yes,
I appreciate it.
we jest and joke with you. We know you're a regular viewer of our show.
Yes.
We appreciate it, and we thank you, and we also say good luck.
Who the hell are we
congratulations.
talking to?
Boba Bois.
Oh, Bubba Wow.
Yeah.
So, let's do Daily Bread and get the hell out of Dodge.
Okay.
Whew. All right. Hold on. I got to gather my thoughts.
Yeah.
First of all, I
It's
got to
made it first.
collect my religion again.
Yes. Ed's got to get the Gregorian chant going.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
it.
Let me find a page.
And besides that, I hope someone prays I'll be able to get my car working again. So.
Yes.
Yes.
So, did Urak bring you guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Urak.
Thank you.
Urak is a man.
For cars in there, Eric?
Let's say Urak is the
Yes.
man. He has helped us once again. Thank you, Urak.
Well-
and y'all gonna be arranging a ride with him tomorrow as well, or no? What's the plan?
I'll
Tomorrow?
see what we can do.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to read this because your brother took the time to write it all.
No, he didn't write it. He cut and pasted.
He couldn't pay. Oh, okay. Cool.
Go ahead.
While we pile up many things that are important to us, very little of it really is precious.
Actually, the first start off.
Yeah, you're skipping.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Throughout my life, I've accumulated a lot of stuff. I have boxes of things that at one time were important, but over time I lost their intrigue. And as an unrepentant collector, I realized that the thrill is in searching for and acquiring a new piece to add to the collection. Then my attention turns towards the hunt for the next item. While we pile up, While we pile up many things that are important to us, very little of it is really precious. In fact, over time I've learned that most precious things in life are not material items at all. Rather, it's the people who have loved me.
I agree with that.
And built into
Built into my life who are precious.
It's the people who love me and built into my life who are precious. When I find my heart saying I don't know what I'd do without them, I know what are indeed precious to me. So when Peter refers to Jesus as the chief cornerstone of like precious, it should resonate in our hearts that he is truly... Are you reading the Daily Bread to me? He is truly precursor, prized possession above everything and everyone else. Where we would be today without the constant, unfailing companionship of his faithful presence, wise and perfect guidance, merciful patience, comfort, and transforming reproof. What we do without him. What would we do without him? I can't even imagine. Lord, help us
that was
not
Coffee Guy.
to focus on fleeting treasures, but on...
Irvin started reading other people's responses.
Guess what it is? It's the Daily Bread for today. Thank you, Coffee Guy.
Okay.
That works well because then Rosalind can see your lips better when you're looking up, Irvin.
Yeah.
Instead of looking down.
Lord, help us not focus on the fleeting treasures, but on, and I'll pick up from there.
That's right, one of one. You can't take it with you. And that's why as I get older, I realize that I want to get rid of all my crap. I mean, I've been like that for a little while. For like 10 years now.
Okay, he got all the way to the end. Lord, help us not to focus on fleeting treasures, but on you, our most precious treasure. Teach us the joy of reveling in you, reveling in you and your loving patience and provisions in our lives. Of all that is precious, Jesus tops the list. Yeah, baby. Coming to him as to a living stone, rejected indeed by men, but chosen by God and precious. 1 Peter 2:4.
Yes.
Thank you, Coffee Guy. Thank you, Coffee Guy.
All right, before we do roll call with DB, we got to get a shout out to Jackie Akins for letting us use his fine establishment.
Yes,
Without her, we would be up Schitt's Creek.
That's
that is
very
the word
true.
of the day.
Yep,
definitely.
It's Mump Day, but we're up Schitt's Creek. Murder Mystery Theater here.
At the Shadows Interactive Dinner Theater, located 438 2nd Street, right next to
Roasted Cafe and Lounge. Phone number 478-321-7526.
In downtown Macon.
Email a one-night-stand@yahoo.com. Website www.shadowsdinnertheater.com. Hook up with Jackie. Get something done here if you want to use her space for something. She's very open and perceptive.
Yes.
I mean, she'll let you pretty much do anything in here. I mean, within reason.
Within reason.
I mean, she will open up the place for anything you might want to put together. You got a band you want to play here. But yeah, call her up, and they got all sorts of stuff every Thursday.
She's wonderful.
Every Thursday is Art of Expression. Every third Saturday is Date Night, which is for couples only. And they have the Murder Mysteries on Fridays, and they have special events on First Fridays.
Well, tomorrow we have one more day here at Shadows, and then it's back to the Nut House on Friday.
Friday we're back to the Nut.
Okay, cool.
Flip It Friday's going to flip it out.
Yeah, we're going to flip sites.
So we did everything. Let's roll call real quick.
Yes,
we did
thank you very much.
We did Eat Your Words. We did Shadows Thing. We did Daily Bread.
Before we go, Tweet Bear says, have a great day. Great show. Today's flow was great.
Thank you.
I agree.
We want to hear that.
We're always better when we have all of us here.
Oh, yes.
And we're definitely better when we don't go in and out every 45 seconds.
Yes, I'm sorry that my cousin wasn't able to come by yesterday or even today. He lives in Albany.
Hopefully he comes next time.
Yes, hopefully he comes next
Full
time.
of hope he comes next time.
He lives in Albany, and there was way too much fog in the Albany area to come by. But
let's face it, the truth is he saw our show and it sucked. So he doesn't want to be associated with it.
But here's our roll call. I want to thank everyone who came by. Because77, Rosalind Nicole.
Thanks, Rosalind.
The Bean, Uric Wildcat, Gamer Girl, Plastic Canvas, Three Bears, Coffee Guy, also a Sabuki who was here earlier, and DS Photo Guy who was here earlier.
So was Donnie Curry.
Yes, Donnie Curry, and Mr. Dumpster Baby, One of One, and Jews.
Yeah, I like that Dumpster Baby guy.
Well,
He's pretty cool.
And Bambino Lardo.
And you notice today's word was mumps, and Mr. Dumpster Baby can spell mumps. You get the M and the UMP.
Yeah.
S, and you got mumps. Wow. Mr. Dumpster Baby. On Mump Day! Love you all. Thank you so much for sticking with us. You make it all worthwhile. We'll be back tomorrow with more crazy stories, more serious stories, and more of this tomfoolery.
And more bullshit.
Yes.
More shit
64 degrees outside of Macon. It's a high of 78. It's a low of 60. Keep warm and keep dry just in case. Have your umbrellas ready, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes. 5 days is Irvin's birthday.
Yes.
18 days is my birthday.
All right.
Love y'all. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Good choice, Ed. Ooh, wah, wah. Ding.